Hello, hello, hello? Hello? Are we back? I think we're here. Okay. I don't have time for a huge intro, but we're just gonna get into it. my my phantom power wasn't on for some reason. Anyways, Mike's back. So the first series is going to be Better Call Saul against the Phantom Thieves. Now these are two teams that I had pretty high in the power rankings. Yes, Fergie, we might do some streams on that later, but we'll see. These are two teams that I had pretty high on my power rankings, so it should be a pretty good series. Our first game is going to be Blitz versus Wombology. Two very, very old players. They've been around for a long time. Wombo hasn't really played in some team tours recently, but he has had like good results in individual stuff. Whereas Blitz, he is coming off the back of a DPL championship, so it should be a good game no matter what. Let's get right into it. This is Gen 7. Alright, Klefki going to lead off into the Rotom Wash. So lead Rotom, kind of like not telling us anything, but lead Klefki is kind of interesting. Leads me to believe this is more of like an offensive team with Spike Stack, Z Mew, maybe a Dragonance Scrafty, something like that. Maybe it's Spike Clef, Scarf Superior to Clean. Maybe Z Zygarde, maybe Z Mew. It's hard to say which one because both do appreciate it in this matchup. Maybe a Taunt Mew, but leading Klefki makes me think you probably just want to get spikes up early, but this Rotom can defog on you, so I guess I'm just wrong. We're going to Toxic as a Discharge comes out. An offensive Rotom, it looks like. But a Toxic is going to go on that. Now a Zygarde is going to pivot in, trying to block the Discharge or a Volt Switch. Does so successfully. Now we're threatening 1,000 arrows, but Rotom stays in, goes for the HP Ice. Could be Shuka Berry to enable this play, but Zygarde pretty happy to just sub and allow that Toxic to rack up. Now Lando's going to come in on another sub. The Intim is pretty useful here. The Lando's not going to take much, but the Coil... But surely this has HP Ice, right? There's no way this works, and especially the confidence of just rocking in its face. We're going to see an HP Ice next turn almost surely, and there it is. So Zygarde not really going to 1v1 this Lando very comfortably, but it will chip it at least a little bit. So this does open up the arrow a little bit. The Scrafty doesn't have to deal with a full HP Lando, but probably not the greatest trade for Blitz if I'm being honest. Now Scrafty comes in on the HP Ice, and Lando's just going to go for a U-turn, chipping the Scrafty, allowing the Mawile to come in with the Intim, gets it in on the Scrafty. This is ideal, but Super Fang, a really nice play, chips the Mawile. You can't really do much better than that as a Scrafty, so good play there. Does Zygarde suck? Zygarde is very good, but maybe a little bit less so into Lando T, Deoxys Defense, Mandibuzz, all these sorts of things, right? But Mawile does hit the field eventually, and now there's not really a great play rough switch in. You see the Klefki's already chipped. We might just see it sacked off, maybe some Helmet Chip and a Spike. And the Klefki does come in. Does Wombo predict this? It's a pretty safe play to just play rough, yeah. And there is the Helmet, and probably a Spike. Exactly what I was saying. Brick Break just to block any screens that Klefki might want to set up before dying. Pretty free. But now Serp comes in, and with Mawile in range, Leaf Storm is a pretty free click. Now Mandibuzz is going to take that. We'll take the next one with Scarf Mandibuzz, and it's going to one-shot the Serp. Wow. I was thinking that might be a little bit of a high amount of damage, and turns out that is correct. So Scarf Mandibuzz lures in the Superior, and it's just going to go down. Wow. To win this game, we basically need to get one kill with a non-Mew Mon. We did not do that. Fair enough, yeah. So Eternal Order sucks then. Yeah, this is Blitz, so... Now Arrow is going to revenge this Mandibuzz. Should be pretty fine here. It's locked in a Brave Bird. As Lando does come in. Free Rocks, I guess, but oh, we miss an Aqua Tail, which kind of sucks. That would have done a lot of damage. And the last move is certainly Earthquake, so you can stay in for free. HP Ice is probably only doing like 30% to Arrow, maybe less. But alas, it does miss. Now Jirachi able to enter the field, and now like there's no steel resist, so like a Scarf Iron Head is pretty scary. Scrafty is going to come in, but Trick Room Jirachi, and then we're obviously going to see a Healing Wish into Mawile if this is the case, and that's exactly what happens. Now Mawile in, no play rough resist, 3 turns of Trick Room, we're going to have to sack 3 Mons, Scrafty down, Zygarde down, Arrow down. Now can Mew 1v5? That is the question. So Mew comes in, does hit the Wisp on Mawile, so Mawile not going to break this Mew. You see Iron Head's doing 31%. So Taunt Wisp Mew is pretty powerful into this team. We see a Roost, obviously. We're going to start fishing for Thunder Punch Paralysis, which is exactly what you should be doing. Now, Seismic Toss is going to 2-hit KO. Probably going to Roost one time to get up to full, and then just knock this out with a Seismic Toss. You don't really want to mess around with this too much. There's no threat of Sucker Punch either, so free Seismic. Now, can Wombo break this Mew? Here's the Rotom. Another chance for Para with the Discharge. And that's exactly what he goes and gets it first try. So that's probably going to be the game. Oh, Lumberry. Nice. Touching this way, we just decided to toss over Shade despite knock of normal on the opposing team. Just goes to show the attention to detail. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? It makes no difference. Roost again, you have to avoid this Discharge Para, but if you do... Okay, this might be Seismic range. And it is, so this Mew might be able to do it. Deoxys comes in. Probably just going to taunt this thing. The only thing scary is like a setup in Deoxys. So get the taunt off, a Shadow Ball comes out, just 31, that's kind of a lot. If you get a drop, this would be really big. But Mew might be able to 1v1 everything. I don't like that Seismic Toss. The problem is, now the taunt's going to wear off and you're low HP, so now it's like really impossible to taunt this turn. If this is set up Deoxys, it's going to go for it this turn. And it goes for a Z instead, which doesn't really matter. Another Roost, but now the Nasty Plot comes out, and now you've just lost the game, I think, because Shadow Ball is going to put this in range of the Land OT, even if you burn it. Or even Scarf Manabuzz, right? I forgot it's Scarf Manabuzz. Yeah, so Manabuzz is going to pick this off with the foul play, and that's going to be the game for Wombology. So that's going to be the Phantom Thieves going up 1-0 in the series as we move on to Game 2, which is going to be Agency versus Mind Gaming. Two players that have had really fantastic recent tournament success. So it should be pretty good. Time House's Contact, right? Yeah, that would be the reason to run Nightshade, but whatever. Same thing. Agency versus Mind, two fantastic players. We'll see how this one goes. This was very early in the week. For Game 2 of the series, we're going to see Okidoki leading off into the Iron Bundle. So Iron Bundle lead is interesting. We're trying to deter Iron Treads leading and rocking, it looks like, because you don't really lead too well into everything else. Maybe like a Specs Pump into Darkrai is like a good lead, but other than that, like, it's a little bit rough to lead with Bundle. Maybe you just want to flip turn out. But Okidoki leads off, and this is probably just going to go for a knockoff, trying to catch the Gliscor coming in, get rid of that Toxic Orb, right? And there is that Gliscor, and there is that knockoff, so... And it wasn't even Toxic Orb, it's just Yachi Berry, so... Sure. Now, Threatening Earthquake, probably going to use this as an opportunity to get Rocks up or Spike with Gliscor, but seeing as the only rocker is Terapagos, it's probably going to be the one carrying Rocks. As Treads comes in on a balloon, so able to catch that Earthquake. So a good balloon. There's no ground immunity besides that, but Hydrapple is like pretty much an immunity. So, So this Gliscor could be like EQ Toxic, in which case Treads would wall it, but it's actually fast U-turn. Totally different game. So true, so true. So Terap going to come in as the response to Treads, which makes me think this is going to be a bulky Terapagos trying to just spin on Treads and keep the hazards off. And since you're like committed to keeping the hazards off, this could be like a Specs Bundle, or at least non-boots, right? That's the only reason you would be so adamant at keeping the rocks off. Maybe an AV Aloe also appreciates no rocks. And there's the rocks from Terapagos itself as the knockoff comes out, gets rid of the Rocky Helmet. So yeah, a very bulky Terapagos here. And Oki gonna force this out into the Aloe. Surprised to see no Gliscor there, but I guess you don't want to get immediately... Actually, no, there's no Air Balloon anymore, so you can just kind of click Earthquake for free, force the Hydrapple in, go for a Toxic on that if you have it. I would have liked to see a Gliscor there. But instead, Aloe comes in, gets Eject buttoned out into Gliscor. Like, that felt like an extra step for the same result. But now an Earthquake comes out, and now you can get the Toxic on Hydrapple, except we're going to U-turn. Sure, I guess, into the Terapagos on Fickle Beam, only does 31%. The next Fickle Beam, if it gets all out, will knock out Terapagos, so that's something to keep in mind. Force this out with the Terra Starstorm. Now Treads comes in, but this Terapagos surely is going to be able to 1v1 this Treads, and yeah, with Flamethrower Burn, the Burn's impactful because now you can just spam rocks and you keep them up. Darkrai is going to come in, but we don't rock for some reason. I don't understand why you wouldn't just rock there. But sure, you go for the spin. Now you can rock if you want. Sure, same thing. Now Slowbro coming in is going to be AV, able to 1v1 this Terapagos with Drain Punch. But we're going to save the Terapagos, going to Alomomola. Pretty comfortable switching on this Slowbro. And now we're going to double to Gliscor, not even go for the flip turn because the Volcanion can come in. So Great Play gets the Gliscor in, but the Hydrapple kind of blinks this thing the entire game. But another Spike goes up, so good value from it. Now the Treads can't spin because it dies to Hazards. So these Hazards are there to stay. Now Fickle Beam into Aloe, goes for Healing Wish. Okay, so Terapagos is coming back. The Iron Bundle is just like, in the meantime, right? Because it's full HP, it won't use up the Healing Wish. You just need to be careful not to go into Gliscor. And now the Terapagos does come in, receives that Healing Wish, and is able to switch into this Volcanion very comfortably, threaten it out with a Terra Starstorm. As Slowbro comes in, but it's taking all these hazards, and this Terra Starstorm is going to 3-hit KO, even with Drain Punch recovery, so Mind Gaming just going to go for that. Sometimes the simple play is correct, and it's just going to take down this Slowbro. Terapagos is chipped. Is that impactful for anything? Maybe Darkrai, right? Maybe it's in Specs Darkrai range. You do see the Darkrai take hazards, so it could be Specs, could be Chople, could be AV, honestly, for the bundle, but this Dark Pulse Oakoing Scizor definitely guarantees that this is Choice Specs Darkrai.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah. Oh, who joined here? Oh, we got Wyatt.
Hi, guys.
I might have to turn you down a little bit. You're a little bit loud. Alright. Should be matching mine on the stream now. Say something.
Hi. Testing.
I'll bring you back up a little bit. There you go. Alright, so we're we're in the middle of the series, and yeah, Specs Darkrai has just been revealed. And so now there's no Ice Resist. The Hydrapple is turned to Flying of all things, so this Iron Bundle should be pretty free to just counterclaim here. And it's going to be the Darkrai going down to a Freeze Dry. Now Okidoki's going to come in, force us out probably into the Gliscor. Instead we go Zarude on the Drain Punch, which, dare I say, is not the play.
Yeah,
but for some reason,
Ice Punch too, if we were worried about that, so...
For some reason, Okidoki switches out of respect or something. I don't know, it felt like pretty comfortable to just stay in and kill the Zarude, but because it doesn't really matter if you have a full HP Hydrapple, you can just go to it. Now here, this play. This was a weird U-turn, right? Because you could just Freeze Dry for a KO. It's guaranteed. Like, what are you scared of here? But instead,
I'm pretty sure 2 KOs Volcanion if
it does,
so.
yeah. And now we just U-turn to sack a Pokemon, our Zarude, to just go back into Bundle. And so it's exact same situation. We Freeze Dry this time, but we're down a sack. So now Volcanion comes in, we just Freeze Dry, take 57 off this guy's HP, obviously die to the Flamethrower, but now Gliscor might be able to sweep still, but the Okidoki at full. Will it live this Earthquake? This might be an offensive Gliscor, but probably not, right? And it will live the Earthquake. Can Ice Punch KO? And it will, of course. So Agency wins this one, but I think it's off the back of a huge throw from Mind Gaming, clicking U-turn with that bundle. Felt pretty safe to just click Freeze Dry, claim your kill. If the Hydrapple dies, then whatever comes in, you just click Freeze Dry versus, and then Gliscor plus Zarude is plenty to clean up. It felt pretty free there, but alas, Agency is going to win that one and bring his team up 2-0 in the series. So Phantom Theme's currently leading 2-0 as we go into Game 3. That was just Aonfa versus Eva Kiyama, two very good black-white players. And here we do see a Garchomp. So Garchomp, not really super awesome to be legal in black-white, but here we are. We were just talking about that earlier today, about how it's just better than everything else in the tier by a pretty significant margin, but hey, here it is. And yeah, let's get into the game. Lead off with a Zapdos into Mismagius. Alright, could see a slow Volt switch here. There's not really a ground type that wants to come in on Zapdos, so Volt does seem like a pretty free click. Mismac could go for like a Spec Shadow Ball, but instead goes for a Wisp, gets that long-term pressure into Zapdos as Crobat comes in. Now you do have several switch-ins to Crobat, but instead we're just going to sack our Mismagius. Could have gone Jirachi, could have gone T-Tar, but Nope. Now Qwilfish gonna get the Intim off and probably gonna set up a T-Spike here as the only poison is not on the ground, but it's just a regular spike. Actually no, there's a Tentacruel here, I'm just blind. Never mind. But a spike does make sense. Now Jirachi in on the Volt Switch. That does a lot. Is that like Spec Zapdos or is that offensive Jirachi? Looks like it's just offensive Jirachi as it tricks a Choice Scarf onto Registeel getting rocks up. Now something else has to come in on Jirachi. And it's just gonna be rocks. Okay. Fair enough. Crobat coming in is a little bit weird. I don't know why we would go Crobat on a Jirachi. You kind of lose that 1v1 anyways. Maybe expecting a U-turn. And then anything else that comes in doesn't really handle the Crobat as well. Maybe that's the play. But here, just going to U-turn into Zapdos. Take rocks and a Zen Headbutt. And we're just going to go down to an Ice Punch afterwards. So Zapdos going to go down for free. Now, Garchomp gonna revenge this Jirachi. It is tricked to Custap, so it can't be like Shook or anything. Goes for a sub, just trying to see if there would be a switch out into like the Lando or something, but no such luck. So just gonna Earthquake this time, knock that out. Alakazam comes in, but you have a full HP Registeel, so may as well go to it, right? Break the potential Sash on this Zam. We're gonna double to Crobat here, expecting like a Focus Blast. Catches a Taunt instead, so even better. Now U-turn, and we will just be able to sack the Registeel here in exchange for huge damage on the Alakazam. I think you take that, right? And now our Reflect comes out, but it's still going to go down to the Ice Punch. Now with the Reflect up, you could say maybe a DD Tyranitar is pretty scary, right? Everything you have is like physical except for Tentacruel. So with a Reflect up, this could be a pretty big threat. Tentacruel obviously not able to take a +1 Earthquake after these hazards. Druddigon going to be the entry into the Dragon Dance T-Tar. Okay, this is going to be going for game. A little bit of Sand Chip. Can it live the Stone Edge +1? It will live the Stone Edge and goes for a Superpower, but behind the Reflect, it will not KO. Now the question is, do you have something faster than this T-Tar? And Crobat comes out, should be naturally faster than even a Jolly T-Tar, and goes for a Natural Gift Fighting, which will knock it out. Really good tech there. I think besides that, you were probably boned, right? So good tech. Now Lando comes in, Brave Bird, and this is not Infiltrator Crobat, unfortunately. This is Inner Focus, just for like a Scarf Jirachi, which does make sense. But obviously here you would prefer to be Infiltrator. And now a Rock Polish comes out, and the second part of Aeonfa's endgame plan has been achieved, right? DD T-Tar forces, you know, some revenge, and now Lando can set up on that. And now what's checking Lando? With the Sand Force EQ, it's going to be really hard to stop. Crobat going to go down to a Rock Slide. Oh, we go for a Swords Dance even. Oh, but the Brave Bird does crit. Ah, that's pretty rough, man.
It's really sad, yeah.
Did we need to Swords Dance, though? I feel like Garchomp taking rocks and spikes. Does that not just die to Sand Force EQ? And even if it doesn't die, Dragon Claw is not knocking you out in return. But I guess then, if you could just click Outrage, right? It would probably kill this, and then Qwilfish can't 1v3. I don't know, it all depends on that Earthquake versus
maybe they were
Garchomp
worried of
roll.
like Shuka Tentacruel or something.
No way,
sure.
right? Surely not. I don't buy that for a second. So that's maybe the Swords Dance was a little bit greedy. I'm not sure. I would have to know. He was scared of Balloon or Shuka Tentacruel. I feel like you're not in a position to worry about that, right? Maybe it would have been fine if no crit, right? So a little bit rough there. But yeah, with that, obviously the Garchomp is just going to clean up the Qwilfish, no problem. Hey guys, OG Albina here. Yeah. Hello, Wyatt. You're in the VC. Why are you not? Are you just typing in my chat?
I was replying to OG Albina.
All right. Okay, this was some like tryhardery swap. Get into Salic to cover for like a Scarf Qwilfish or something. Get rid of the Intim. Sure. Safe end path. And that's going to be 3-0 for Phantom Thieves as we go into game 4. Right?
That's a pretty big lead they have.
That appears to be a big lead. Just wanted to show the tech, of course. Of course. Alright. Now we have TDG versus Theodore Manny. This wasn't game 4. I kind of just went on like the order they were on the dock, but maybe this was game 4. Was this game 4? Yeah, I think this was game 4. So we'll do this one first. Yeah. Alright, it might be my bad, but it might be just how it was posted. It's funnier in correct order. Yes, I agree. So game 4, we're going to have Void of Darkness versus A12 QSD. And as many people know, A12 is just better than everyone. Especially when he's rocking his trusty Diggersby. And now you look at this team, it's like, Diggersby isn't that amazing versus this. You have like double Prio Lop for like a Rock Polish. Diggersby, or like Agility, right? You have Lando to intimidate it, Rocky Helmet it down. Scizor obviously can take any hit. Bullet Punch. But okay. If anyone knows how to get the most out of Diggersby, it is A12. So let's see how he does. This is a Mega Gardevoir, which Void's team is quite weak to, as the only response is Scizor. Obviously can get HP iced, or HP fired, or like wisped. Either one is going to be like really detrimental to the Scizor. So probably going to be Akaberry. And that's pretty much it. Don't see much else for the guard. The Lopunny, I mean, I say this all the time, and nobody ever brings it, but I really like Focus Punch Lopunny into Skarms a lot, because they usually just roost, and then you're able to, like, underspeed, catch them with their Flying type removed, and you Focus Punch, and it does, like, 90%, and you can pick them off the next turn. Nobody ever runs it, though, so, like, I'll keep saying it, though. I really like that. I think it's cool. But let's get into the game. Rosetta leads off into the guard. Pretty good a lead. Can get the Mega off for free. That's tech. Yes, it is. Just go for a Psychic here. Psyshock, same thing. Brings this Roselia down to Sash, as Sludge Bomb going to chip this guard quite heavily. And so I guess that's one way of dealing with the guard. Nice HP fire on the switch to Scizor, but yeah, Spidef, Akaberry. And now a Bullet Punch, he'll just knock out this Gardevoir, but there's a Skarm in the back, so probably just going to take this as an opportunity to set up a Spike. Or Rocks, I guess this is the only rocker, right? But no, we're going to switch to Diggersby as Roselia comes in. Okay, sure. Now the normal resist is at 48%, so you could have just gone for a return, but instead going to U-turn on the Lando, take Helmet into the Rotom Wash, and now it's like, there's no real water resist, right? So you can't just go for Hydro. Maybe this was a better play. But obviously the downside is you can miss Hydro Pump, and that's exactly what happens. An AV Rotom is revealed by that pitiful 24% T-Volt. Diggersby comes in. This could be Lum or it could be Scarf to stand on Raikou like that. Probably just going to be Scarf, right? We saw a U-turn. And just going to go for a return. Lando comes in, but Fizdef Rocky Helmet, and now is the opportunity. Lando can go for the rocks. And it looks like Skarm's going to come in and try to trade rocks. But an HP Fire or a Electric there. Able to chunk this Skarm quite heavily, but a Defog comes out. So A12 more interested in removing hazards than he is, just trading hazards. And your Roost back into full. Can't just Defog again. But this Lando doesn't really have a reason to switch out right now. You can just fish for Hidden Power crits. Stall out Roosts and Defogs. And eventually... Oh! I was going to say, eventually you're going to end up with either Rocks Up or a chipped Skarm. But he decides to skip a step there, not get the Rocks Up. Instead, Gardevoir comes in on an HP Fire, which is like ideal, right? So now Guard's going to get a KO for that misplay from Void of Darkness. Really small error, but has to pay for it. Now Scizor comes in, and you could just go back to Skarm, right? But we're going to sack our Guard for fun. So a little bit greedy from A12, kind of trying to expect a U-turn or a double. Not going to be the case. Now Rotom comes in, can go for a free Volt Switch, but Scizor just stays in, not really interested in switching. So now finally the correct switch comes in, the Skarm, able to get the Roost off, but knockoff on the Helmet probably doesn't matter too much, if I'm being honest, but the Lopunny will have a little bit of an easier time existing without that Rocky Helmet. Now Drapion in on Raikou can just go for a knockoff or even a T-Spike. There's no poison after Roselia goes down, and there is the T-Spike. And that should be pretty dangerous for Void of Darkness. Nothing really likes that T-Spike up. And now Rotom going to come in, save that HP on Drapion as Scizor comes out. Going to go for a Volt Switch. Is this Defog Scizor? I'm inclined to say no. And yeah, there is the U-turn last. Facade Megalope if real. That would be quite real, but unfortunately it's still walled by Skarm, right? Alright, so Rotom comes in on the Aromatisse, takes nothing from that Moonblast, but the Rotom's starting to get very low. There's no Wish support, there's no like healing Wish available, so this Rotom, the chip is permanent. Another Volt Switch as Drapion comes in. Scizor should be in range now. Yeah, especially if it's Fire Fang, so goes for a Bullet Punch, goes down, that's fine. Scizor's job of checking Gardevoir has been achieved. So it's a little bit more expendable now. Raikou comes in, can just go for a T-Bolt or Volt Switch. Even an Aura Sphere trying to cover a Switch to Diggersby, totally fine. Now Conk comes in, Volt Switch. It looks like another AV, potentially. That did nothing. As Ice Punch, going to do a lot to this Aromatisse, but the Citrus, J-Ricky saves the day. And Aromatisse is going to be able to avoid the 2-hit KO thanks to that Citrus Berry. And now Rotom going to have to take its final switch in. Goes for a Pump. Is going to double down on this Aromatisse. So this Rotom did put in a lot of work, but it is now out of the way. And there is still full HP Lopunny. And there it is. The Conk comes in. Gonna go Skarm trying to cover like a fake out into HJK, but instead just rips the hard HJK. Judging from the damage, would that crit matter? So 60, it would say without the crit it does 40. So yeah, that crit did actually change the 2-hit KO roll. And now Skarm's going to go down, so pretty lucky from Void of Darkness. Otherwise, you could have just roosted up. But now the Lando comes in. Scarf Diggersby going to force out the Lopunny. Return is going to 2-hit KO the Lando, but gets the Intim, sacks the Raikou. Now, are we going to go for another Intim, or are we going to go for double Prio Lopunny? Looks like it's going to be double Prio. You just live, I guess. Never mind. Retaliate, going to knock something out. And now, can Conk 1v2? Lando going to pivot in, gets the Rocky Helmet chip, predicts the Mach Punch, and there it is. With another EQ, or I guess Earth Power, and Rocky Helmet, it is going to be in range of Fake Out. And so, the 6% Poison Lopunny is going to get it done with a quick attack, sure. You going to say something? I'm kind of yapping over a lot of it.
Oh no, I just thought this was a really close game. The high jump kick crit on Skarm probably changed a lot there, because
yeah,
it could have just roosted up, and then Lopunny's poisoned and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, this does seem
so now
like
that's 3-1 in the series, right?
This is 4-0.
Oh, 4-0. Okay, I got the players mixed up.
So at this point, Thieves just need one more win to lock up a full win in the week. They've guaranteed a tie.
Yeah, that's a massive lead.
And if Better Call Saul want to even tie, they have to win out, which is obviously very tough to do. And now we go into Game 5, which is going to be TDG versus Theodore Manny. Theo, known for this bulky style, and this time he has a Gothitelle, something that, you know, me and my personal tours that I run, I always ban Sword and Shield Goth, and you're going to see why in this very game, actually. But, yeah, so two, obviously, historically great Swish players. TDG has been on a little bit of a losing streak in Swish recently, but obviously one of the pioneers of the format and really helped push the metagame forward, say like 2 years back, maybe 3 years, something like that. He really reinvented this tier and kind of took over, so it should still be a great game. Let's get into it. Klefki going to lead off into Garchomp. Could see Magnet Rise. Instead, we see a switcheroo on Sticky Barb to the Garchomp. Obviously, gonna trick an AV, so this Klefki cannot do anything.
That's really funny.
That's tough, man. Hey, why do we switch, though? Trying to predict like a Lando or a Lottie pivot, because Earthquake is pretty obvious there. But instead of Steel Beam, and your Krobit's just going to take 50% just for the love of the game. Now Savali Normal's going to come in. The only normal resist is Scizor. So it goes for a Fire Fang, predicting that, but instead the Garchomp going to come in, which is fair enough, right? Now Garchomp could potentially... could potentially Oko Machamp. Why not?
That's not what I expected.
Oh my god. What did you expect? Probably expected like an Outrage there, right? Because Klefki's gone. But how is that even better? I guess we have to sack something. Yeah,
this is a little strong here.
A little bit Thanos. Now Zera comes in, but Zera, there's no way it kills Garchomp from there, so we're gonna switch into Lottie and get scale shotted. No. Oh, that was definitely not the play.
Well, the Chomp is slowly getting dealt with by the Iron Barb, at least.
Yeah, Sticky Barb, it's at least low.
The one silver lining.
I think the damage well and truly has been done. God damn.
Potentially.
Yeah, so multi-attack even takes the rough skin. So Silvally at 1 HP. You have a 2 versus 5 basically at the end. Now Crobat can come in, just goes for a U-turn. Except we go for a Brave Bird for no particular reason, which is awesome. Now Mungus comes in on a Blaze Kick, so TDG is starting to fight back, catches that. But now Gothitelle comes in. I think that reveals to be Banded Zeraora. So now you're going to see, this is exactly the set why I think Gothitelle should not be legal in this gen. It has this combination of moves. Cosmic Power, Rest, Stored Power. What is he supposed to do about this?
Yeah,
the
his
answer
choice
is to
locked,
just don't
yeah.
bring Banded Zeraora. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just stupid.
It is a pretty toxic Pokemon.
Alright, so eventually we struggle and knock ourselves out. And another Cosmic Power, so like, bro. Now Lando comes in,
and
Stored Power does 68%. Yeah, it should, but there's a immediate crit, so at this point there's like nothing he can do anyways. But yeah, it just goes to show I really don't think that Goth should be legal. But okay, Theo wins the game. After that amazing start from Garchomp, it would be hard to lose, right? But it is going to bring...
Yeah, basically took down 4 with it, so yeah.
Yeah, it is going to bring his team back into the series. In a sense, like, they're on the board at least, right? 4-1 still.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have Fogbound Lake up against Iron Boulders. So Fogbound Lake is going to be on Better Call Saul. He needs to win, or else they're going to lose the series outright. Iron Boulders, one of the best draft league players in the scene right now. And he's rocking this Meowscarada Keldeo team. Really strong looking. Shadow Tag is such a silly ability. That's what I'm saying, right? But yeah, Fogbound Lake, known as a Smogon player, primarily is what I'm, that's what I know him from. But this custom avatar is very cute, I will say. Look at that guy. It's adorable.
Yeah, agreed.
I just realized you're watching the stream and trying to commentate, but it's delayed. Yeah, I can just screen share.
Oh, yeah. It's late by like a couple seconds, but yeah.
Yeah.
That would help a little. There we go.
You gotta just say something, man. Alright, so this is game 6 now.
So we got 2 Terra Ghosts and a Terra Dragon on Gyarados. Oh, and a Terra Fairy on the Bear as well, Ursaluna. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so Terra Ghost on Keldeo makes me think you just want to be able to flip the resist on Blaziken and potentially get a super effective Terra Blast into the Metagross.
Yeah.
Pretty reasonable. But at the same time, like, maybe Ghost means you can sub Calm Mind on Tentacruel and then just be Terra Blast Vacuum Wave. That does seem somewhat reasonable, but it does feel weak to Encore Sableye, so maybe it's just 4 attacks Keldeo. Hard to say. I don't think I saw this game live or anything like that, so I'll be surprised just as you are. Yeah, Ghost Blaziken's interesting. Immune to Vacuum Wave, right? I get it. Alright, Tentacruel lead into Uxie. I see no poison, so it could just be a lead T-Spike situation, and that's exactly what it is. But we see a trick from the Uxie. Offloads its Scarf in exchange for Black Sludge. Now here, Tentacruel is kind of forced out, so you could even see Uxie stay in and trick again. Try to get the Black Sludge on something else. Do we trick again? We do not trick again. Imagine the Darkrai with the Black Sludge. That would be pretty cool. And yeah. Boots Carbink. Another trick. Okay.
Oh, another trick. Nice.
We all just tricking out here. As rocks go up, now the Carbink has to switch. Uxie gonna come in as Sableye hits the field. Now, probably expecting another trick. We're just gonna go back to Tentacruel. but no such luck. Gonna just U-turn into Keldeo. It is boots as well, so Iron Boulders knows
Yeah, there's no
the
removal
same
here,
as
so I'm
everyone
guessing
else.
it's
Yeah,
boot spam on that side.
probably you want to cover the T-spikes, which ends up working out, right? And there is the Calm Mind, but Heart Sableye is threatening the Encore, has to switch now. Ursaluna comes in, takes the T-spikes, which, you know, Guts is activated, and now misses a play rough. That is tough, man. It probably wouldn't kill,
would have been a lot.
but I would have done like 65, I think. And then the Sableye is like pretty much in range of rocks. Oh, it would have killed.
Oh, it would have just killed. Okay.
Oh, because Sableye came in on Keldeo. It's probably specially defensive. I probably didn't take that into account. Yeah, Fogbat like very low on timer though. You see that? Now eventually goes Gyarados.
Oh yeah, that's.
And with the screens up, can go for Dragon Dance as Uxie comes in. Probably just going to trick the Black Sludge onto this Gyarados. Trick Room, okay.
Oh, Trick Room.
That's cool.
That's cool.
And goes for a Yawn. So not interested in offloading this Black Sludge at all. Just going to go down. Now Ursaluna comes in. No Intimidate anymore. And Double Edge.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Behind Reflect, by the way.
Well, Crit goes through Reflect.
Yeah, crit. Oh yeah, true, crit. But
now you can just follow it up with a... I was going to follow it up with a Headlong Rush, but I guess that's banded? Wait.
Agility in the Trick Room. Wait a minute. I can see... yeah, no, actually,
No.
it was in front of Ursaluna, right? No, yeah, I can't see the vision. Never mind.
That was a little bit funny. I enjoyed that one.
That's a funny one.
But one turn left on light screen, so Blaziken can set up one time in front of Keldeo. It is a little bit of 50-50, right? Do you Terra Blaziken on a Surf, or do you stay regular Blaziken on a Terra Blast?
Yeah, it's a tough call.
Fairly sure the bear is AV Fairy for Rai. Well then, why would you not just stay in and kill the Metagross, right? Am I missing something? I feel like it should just be banded then, right? I thought he was going to be Aleki and outspeed Trick Room. Yeah. So, decides to stay normal on the Blaziken. Do we see a Surf or a Terra Blast? I want to say he's going for a Terra Blast here. So I'm on Fogbound's Lake's side here. Oh, Roar, none of the above.
Oh my god. Even better.
So it's not even a 50-50. And now Gyarados has to take even more hazards. Really nice Roar there. And now just a Terra Blast is going to put this thing very low. Scale Shot going to do basically nothing. But with loaded dice, it will actually 2-hit KO. So I take that back about doing nothing. Now just going to sack the Luna. Oh, Waterfall. Interesting. Does that kill? Yeah, it would kill. Okay.
Yeah, it's more damage than Scale Shot, I think.
But now Meow comes in, and it's going to take T-Spike, which means it's probably going to be Scarf, and it is Scarf. Now Carbink comes in. How do we break the Carbink? It's no longer Boots, so it does take the Poison. But this does allow the Blaziken to set up for free. I don't know, oh, another Trick Room.
Oh, Trick Room.
So it is 2 Trick Room users. Keldeo comes in on the CC. Really nice play.
Oh, nice call.
And now protects once on the Roar, so it just gets out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, Keldeo can't kill Darkrai? Well, switches to Tentacruel anyways. Misty Explosion does a massive 7% to Tentacruel. Love that. But it's locked into Flip Turn now, so this Gouging Fire could set up a Dragon Dance if it wants to. Darkrai going to come in. Instead, it's going to be an Outrage, potentially a banded Gouging Fire. Now, Blaziken cannot kill this Gouge from here for sure, but Protect is going to end the Outrage. And
maybe
it looks
EQ
like
kills this or CC.
So here's a niche mechanic some of you might not know. You see, the Gouging Fire did not get confused by Outrage, but since you Outrage into a Protect, the Outrage is finished. The reason for this is because initially on the first Outrage click, there's a roll that happens in the code where it determines if it's a 2-turn or a 3-turn Outrage, and he got a 3-turn Outrage. So a Protect here interrupts the 3-turn Outrage, and you don't get confused. But if it was a 2-turn Outrage, the Protect and the Outrage would interact in a way where the Outrage confuses Gouging Fire. So it's a chance there. But now we're just going to sack the Tentacruel for some more Poison Chip. Can this Blaziken do it?
Into range, yeah.
Because now you just protect one more time. Another poison. And this Gouge might be, yeah, see there, exactly. This time he rolled a 2-turn Outrage and got confused. You see that?
Yeah, yeah.
CC comes out. It's gonna kill. I don't know if that crit mattered. I want to say it didn't.
He might outspeed
but...
Scarf Meow, so...
Oh, definitely outspeed Scarf Meow. Yeah, I don't think there's a move you can click.
Can just clean up here, yeah.
Yeah. CC and then Keldeo, obviously. It might have Vacuum Wave here. -2 Spadef. Can it do it? But there's obviously the Terra Ghost, right?
Oh, yeah. Covers that too.
There we go. And that's going to be the game. So now it's 4-2 in the series as we move on to Game 7. All right, 2 more games to go. We have 100p versus Sharky King, and this is Gen 4 draft. Last week I had like the matchups for Gen 4 on screen, but that's because Cinevrath was a nice guy and made them all for me. I'm probably not going to do all that.
I did that again this week too, if you do want to put them up.
Oh, you did?
Oh.
Yeah, I DM'd them all to you.
Oh, you did? Bet. I was going to say, it looks like we're out of luck, but turns out the luck has arrived. Alright, let me just throw that on screen then. Bang! Now we can see the matchup, and it's a much nicer viewing experience for the folks at home. Alright, appreciate that. Alright. So what do we see here? We're gonna see... I guess we can look at the leads, right? Because those are locked in, always. Alright, lead Uxie versus lead Raikou. So lead Raikou is interesting. You're saying, hey, your ground type is a Piloswine and that sucks balls. So just lead Raikou, get some good... Actually, no, that's 100p's Raikou. So the other side is a Donphan. Same deal, right? Not a great switch into Raikou. So your Raikou's able to force chip early, whereas on the other side, Uxie leading, definitely going to be just a free rocks situation. Shadow Ball comes out, does 37, but gets the drop crucially. And another trick, these guys just love trick Uxie. Shadow Ball not going to kill here, so can get the rocks up, and yeah. The spinner is Tentacruel, but you don't have a ghost type, so those rocks could be removed. Another drop. Unlucky. Now pivots to Heatran on HP ground. Wow, 100p just outplaying the entire game. A protect for some more burn chip, but yeah, really good progress from this lead Raikou. Another HP ground. At least now you know that it's not HP ice or anything, so Donphan can come in. But Skarm is just going to be a free switch in. Can start laying spikes or rocks of its own. And there's the rocks, right? Knockoff going to remove the leftovers. Or I guess Wakanberry. No, we would have seen leftovers. But now Gengar comes in. And Gengar actually, like, super walls Donphan. Unless it's Assurance. Oh. Whoa. So Assurance, if you guys don't know what Assurance is it's a 60 base power move, dark type, that doubles if your opponent takes damage before it takes the Assurance. And that actually does work on Stealth Rocks. So this Gengar would have just died from full if it wasn't Colbur. That's kind of the only way that Donphan can really beat Gengar, though. So it's a pretty good spin blocker versus Donphan otherwise. Now Raikou comes in, eats the J. Ricky Citrus Berry, and now the opposing Raikou is going to be the sack into, you know, this T-Bolt. Tuning in and not seeing a Slitherwing, I'm crushed by my disappointment. It'll be a while until Slitherwing shows up, unfortunately. So Primeape comes in, not really great fighting answers. Donphan is going to be... Okay, it can take an Earthquake.
Yeah, that was not a lot of damage.
Yeah, now it just goes for the Rapid Spin as Skarm comes in, but you can just kind of get rocks up again if you want to. But Primeape going to double in on the Heatran, so getting one step ahead. Now Donphan forced to take another hit, this time a CC crit.
Oh my god.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
These are double crits, right?
Yeah, this is a Gen 4, Gen 5 crits, double damage rather than the 1.5 of modern gens. Now Qwilfish comes in, it is not Intimidate, because it doesn't get Intimidate in this gen.
Rain Dance. But
Rain Dance into Tentacruel. This Waterfall doing a lot and flinches.
Oh, and the flinch.
Could be a 2-hit KO. Instead, we're going to sack Gengar. Makes sense. Now, what's the answer to this Qwilfish? You have a T-Tar, so that's going to get rid of the weather. Will it take a Waterfall, though? Barely.
God.
Now Earthquake is gonna knock it out in return, but damage done. Raikou looking like a mega threat. Oh my god.
It looks like this Primate might be like unguardable now, though.
Yeah. What's the last for Sharky?
Probably not
Probably
something
Pilot
that's
Swine,
worth
right?
displaying, yeah.
Oh wait, no, Sharky's the other side. I'm getting it mixed up in my head again. Yeah, the other three unrevealed all died to CC, right?
Yeah.
Liko, Sneasel, and Licky Licky. So Heatran gonna get sacked. Skarm's still healthy, right? Licky Licky comes in. It's a pretty free scout on Choppel to just go Skarm. Oh, with a Fire Blast.
gets
Really
the Fire
nice play.
Blast.
Really nice play. And now Primeape comes in. Goes for a U-turn. Again, playing around that Choppleberry.
Choppleberry.
Another Fire Blast, but Tentacruel gonna live that. Now Licky Licky goes to Raikou, preserving HP, so it really makes you think this is probably going to be the Choppleberry. Can it live the Primeape hit at 62 though? That's the question. Primeape's gonna come in, obviously it's Choice Scarf, it's gonna knock out Raikou. But can the Licky Licky survive with the Choppel? We're gonna find out. This is like for the series, right? If it lives with Choppel, he just wins the series. Here's the Choppel. Does it live? And it does not.
So that chip was really impactful.
Really
the U-turn
impactful,
and
yeah.
The
The sand,
sandstorm.
yeah. Really nice endgame from 100p. Plays around the Choppel perfectly. That opening from Raikou as well. Really fantastic stuff. And that's going to be 4-3. Okay, last game of the series.
This is a huge comeback so far.
Lax versus Marshy. All right, is this going to be a Brother Dog Classic? Or is Lax going to tie up the series for his team? All right, let's see this one. Another Gen 4 game, so I can just pop the matchup real quick. Where is it? Here it is. We can get rid of this one. There we go. All right. So, what are we looking at here? Lead Suicune versus lead Quillfish. Quillfish lead, let's see. The removal is Hitmontop, but you do have a Dusclops. So this could be just a Spike Stack Quillfish lead, maybe even a Focus Sash, maybe something like that. But versus Suicune, this is a little bit scary. Just clicking Spikes as a Suicune like sub, Calm Minds and stuff. This could be pretty dangerous. A Ghost for a Poison Jab does break the sub, crucially. If that didn't break, that was looking pretty dire already.
Yeah.
But another sub comes out. Is this a roll?
Looks like a
it's a
speed
roll.
tie. Oh, it's a roll and a speed tie because they stopped.
So these are both max speed, it looks like, or no speed, right? You wouldn't really meet in the middle. There's a sub, but P-Jab looks like 27. Either that's a max roll, or like it's very likely to break sub. And yeah, it does break sub. Now, who wins the last speed tie? The only one that matters. Marshy not even going to go for it. Goes Registeel instead. Able to take on this Surf. And now with the sub, I mean, Thunder Punch is going to break it. So sub obviously going to be max HP to sub on Seismic Toss, but Thunder Punch going to get through that no problem. Now Hitmontop comes in. But with his Spike Up, you're probably willing to just go Dusclops, and that's exactly what happens. Do we see a Foresight? No Foresight, but Hitmontop could just stay in Foresight, and that is exactly what it does.
Oh, yeah.
And so now the spin is going to happen, it's inevitable. And so the Spike is gone. Quillfish has traded his life essentially for just HP on the Suicune. But now that Hitmontop has to take a big beating to get that spin off. Snorlax comes in. It's going to be sub Snorlax. Catches the Will-O-Wisp.
On the Wisp.
And now Quillfish going to get sacked. Oh, but the Belly Drum. This is surely Custap, right? It's not Custap.
No
So we're just going to crunch and kill Claydol? Wait, why are we switching on a subbed up +6 Snorlax? Surely you just Poison Jab break the sub. Alright, Dragonite's going to be able to take the +6 crunch. Which, like, I don't know why it's crunch.
It might have been like EQ last or something.
Crunch
Maybe
EQ?
something that doesn't hit D-Knight.
I could see that, yeah. but I don't know why you wouldn't just be like return EQ. Maybe you just want the crunch for the Dusclops, I guess.
Oh yeah.
And if you are
'cause maybe
crunch, it
would've-
has to be EQ last. Like, I guess, yeah. Probably not the coverage I would have chosen, but sure, it gets some good progress. Metagross gonna revenge kill this Dragonite with Shuka. Now Clops comes in, even at +1, this should be able to Wisp and neuter the Metagross. Yeah, they can haze, yeah. Fair enough. Now it gets a Toxic on the Dusclops, but I would assume this to be like Rest Talk, Wisp, Seismic, so probably not going to be too bothered by this. Now Suicune's forcing it out. I don't know why Suicune forces that out. Is it not in range of Seismic Toss there?
Maybe he really wants the HP on it for later. Not sure.
Yeah. His Curse Registeel comes out, able to 1v1
42.
this Nidoking. Nido's going to take most of its HP. Another Earthquake, surely, and so Nidoking goes down to the Registeel. Hard to say who's winning in this position. Metagross comes out, but Dusclops can just answer this for free. Probably going to throw out another Wisp if I had to guess. Suicune coming in to take it. And now Suicune's on a timer. Definitely not Rest last, right? Can the Dusclops just go for a rest of its own? Sacks Quillfish instead. I still not am sure why this Suicune is forcing out the Dusclops. I feel like you should be able to just stay in and rest or do anything. Okay, Jolteon finally finishes off the Suicune. Rachel sacked off to the Metagross. Dusclops in again, can you go for another Wisp? Mash lands a little bit to the left. Oh, it's Pain Split, not Rest. So what's the last move then? Haze? Probably. Like, that does way too much damage.
Gets the burn. It's gonna depend a lot on whatever Silly Guy's last mon is, I think.
Now, what is it? Could be Regice, could be
Oh.
Crobat.
If it's Regice, it looks like it wins here. Okay, it's Crobat.
There's the Crobat. Wins the tie on Jolteon is a big deal.
Nice.
And now Dusclops, because it's poisoned.
Surely it wins 1v1. But, oh my god, Pain Split.
I mean, it
Stealing
doesn't
it.
matter, right? Yeah, Giga Drain's gonna be able to do it. Yeah, Wisp's not gonna be enough. With the poison chip? No way, right?
Oh.
Yeah, Crobat wins this one. All that for a
think,
tie, yep.
Yeah.
So the series ends in a tie, which is like awesome, right? 4-0 up, ends in a tie. Pretty cool.
Cinema for the viewers.
Marshy, what if he seismic on the final turn? Did he?
Oh, on that one, it might have.
It was at
put it into range of
42.
the
How much
burn.
did seismic do? Did we ever click seismic on this?
I
No, we
don't
didn't.
think so.
Both sides choked the final interaction. That's kind of tough. Yeah. Is Lock supposed to like nasty plot twice? Is that it? So you plot once on the Pain Split, you plot again on the Wisp, and then now your Giga's like 2 at KOing, right? Yeah, it would have. Yeah. Heat Wave would have won as well, yeah. I don't know. I just work here, you know? A tie is a tie. And now we have Series 2. Now, this one is going to be the Ragey Bolts versus the Random Finizens. Alright. Yep. So Sammy C is going to be on the Finizens. He's one of their captains, I believe. And then Bobbert on the other side is going to be on the Ragey Bolts. Got a Mega Gallade mirror, which is not super uncommon in Sun and Moon. But yeah, let's get into the game. Zapdos mirror as well. Very similar looking teams, all things considered. Nidoqueen going to lead off into Gallade. Probably doesn't want to stay in, right? So Celesteela going to be the pivot in on Psycho Cut. Good mid ground between Nidoqueen and Zapdos. but Steel obviously covers that. Doubles to Zygarde, which is interesting. Catches a Wisp for it. That's a huge deal.
That's rough.
Oh my god. Real talk, the Zygarde wasn't looking too hot anyways, with a Granbull on the other side, one of the hardest counters to Zygarde in the game. But still, you take a Wisp on that. Now CC gonna do a lot of damage. I wonder if you're just leading with Gallade, maybe you just want to stay in and do as much damage as possible, but instead we're gonna go Bronzong on the Protect. Feels like a strange Protect there, as Psywave, you're gonna get leeched, and Steel is going to net gain HP from this interaction. A Heavy Slam comes out, Stealth Rock goes up, but Zong is going to be forced out here. At least that's what I would assume, and it's also what Sammy C assumes, but turns out he just goes for a Light Screen instead, and now Steel is the one switching out? As Zygarde comes in, but Nidoqueen not going to be super happy to stay in there. A Dragon Dance comes out as Gallade is the answer to Zygarde? This doesn't seem right. A Z-move going to blow this up, obviously.
Destroy it, yeah.
And now Silvally Fairy has to come in. But this is Gen 7 Silvally. Like, multi-attack is only 90 base power. +2, a multi-attack Fairy doesn't KO Zygarde. Okay, so Zygarde really opening up this early game. Really great from Bobbert. Now Zapdos comes in, able to revenge the Zygarde, and it is Scarf Zapdos. So after the chip, HP Ice is going to KO. But now Weavile can come in for free. It's a very free knockoff. Can just like get rid of the Steel's leftovers. It looks like it's banded Weavile into Fizdef Steela. So, or is it? I think it is, right? Another knock, but with the low HP stat on Weavile, the next knock is going to kill. So aggressive stay-in is rewarded. Now Zapdos comes in, but it's Scarf Zapdos, so probably just want to sack the Bronzong if I had to guess, but no. The Zapdos of his own is going to come in on the Volt. Now Zygarde comes in. I mean, do we see a Granbull switch? Could see a double to Nidoqueen there, but instead it's Scarf Zapdos on both sides. So HPI is going to knock that out. Now Nidoqueen comes in.
HPI is just really free now.
Yeah, it is. Ice doesn't kill, so another HPS would put it in Iapapa range, which is a pretty common item in Sun Moon, so probably doesn't want to just allow that to happen. Instead, going to take the free Light Screen and Psywave. It's not Iapapa, it's actually Custap. So same thing, really. Wow. In effect, you get an extra turn out of the Nidoqueen versus the Zapdos, but Bobbert not going to be fooled by that. And it looks like Bronzong is just going to clean up here, it looks like. Yeah, a good roll on Psywave, and that's going to do it. So Bobbert is going to make his team up 1-0. So Regibolt's leading the series 1-0. Now Donnie P versus Nick. This is Panda, AA. Donnie P, Don Fantastic, is going to be on the Finizons. So let's see, can he tie up the series? Alright, Roserade versus Crobat lead, and we will put the matchup on the screen. And I still have the other one on screen for some reason. I forgot. Alright. Bang. Alright. Let's see. Roserade lead versus Claydol is interesting. The Roserade lead, but the spinner's right in front of you, so it's kind of tricky to click spikes here, but it's also hard for the Claydol to want to stay in here on the threat of Leaf Storm or Sleep Powder. So Bronzong is going to come in, and yes, spikes, expecting the Claydol to switch. Now Hidden Power Fire going to chunk this thing quite heavily, but a Calm Mind and leftovers, this Roserade probably not going to win 1v1, so it goes for a Stun Spore, kind of limiting Bronzong's turns at least. But yeah, this next HP Fire is doing 28%, not nearly enough. And Rest is going to come out, revealing this Bronzong does just hard wall this Roserade now. Goes for a Sleep Talk, not willing to stay on the Azumarill here. Does a lot of damage, but Body Slam expecting the switch, fishing for a para, does not get it, as Kingdra going to go for a Dragon Pulse, but looks like this is like Spadef Azumarill or something. It's not taking any amount of damage. So keeps fishing for paras into the Kingdra, still doesn't get it though. Now the Kingdra reveals Rest. It's like, okay, double Rest. Kind of expecting like a slower playstyle from Don Fantastic, able to, you know, have that longevity. Sleep Talk pulls a Surf, but Dragon Pulse wouldn't have killed there either. Nice crit energy ball. This Bronzong has one more turn of sleep to burn, but gonna double into Infernape on the HP fire. And now Infernape in, gonna just knock out this Rose. Don't have a great switch in when Azumarill's already so low. AV Azu versus Covert Cloak Kingdra? Probably, right? Alright, looks like it's sub Rotom. So able to, like, fish for these overheat drops, and maybe you can get a sub up at the end. But the Roar is gonna put a stop to that. Now Venusaur in. I mean, gonna do a little bit to this camera up, but yeah, Roar with double hazards up. Looks good. Looks like he's just gonna take his progress from Roar spam. Burns the last turn of sleep on the Bronzong, but another Roar, another 2 layers of damage on the Venusaur. Another Earthquake, another Roar. So
Another Roar.
we're racking up the chip, but now gets the Kingdra. Oh, but the Custap Explosion gonna 1v1. So Camerupt got a whole lot of damage spread out on the team and a KO. Can't ask for much more. And you have the Dusknoir versus Claydol. Another trick comes out. Oh, that's funny. So it tricks away the Lumberry from Claydol and cures the poison. That's awesome.
That's really funny.
Another Toxic obviously coming out. Now this Claydol can't really spin versus this Azu anymore. The threat of like a waterfall here. Yeah, and Venusaur should be in range of like an Aqua Jet here. And there it is. So all that hazard chip with the camera up added up. It was a double down, but yeah, now Claydol comes in, can go for a spin if it wants to. I can't though, because there's a Dusknoir. Yeah, there's the Dusknoir. Shadow Sneak gonna put this thing basically in range of rocks, or like, you know, close enough, right? Another Shadow Sneak gonna knock it out. Now can Bronzong 1v3 here. A trick gets rid of the leftovers, but it's gonna allow a free recovery in the process. And the last is Metagross, so like, we really don't have a whole lot for this Bronzong. Go for an agility, sure, why not? And now we're in a little bit of a long sequence here. Finally gets the attack raised from Meteor Mash, but still not really 3-hit KOing the Bronzong. Goes for Flash Cannon. Now Flygon comes out, and I believe from the U-turn, what did that hit? I don't know, but we'll see here.
Might be banded.
Fire Punch, it is banded. Flygon into Fizdef Bronzong, it looks like. Now, can he roll 2 Flash Cannons? Because I don't think one will kill. And gets a Calm Mind here, so I think this Flygon will be able to 1v1 this Bronzong at least, but there's still an Infernape in the back, right? Another Fire Punch is going to knock it out. But because you didn't get a single Flash Cannon, now it's Flygon versus Infernape. You're banded into Fire Punch, so you're going to switch to Dusknoir here. On a Slack Off, okay.
Off.
Pretty big. And now it's going to be a Flamethrower. Earthquake going to proc a Shuka Berry. So the Infernape lives. Knocks out the
I think Flygon can just outrage twice now.
It can, but also there's the threat of HP Ice Infernape. And we know it's going to be faster
true.
than the Flygon. Can it kill from full? This is the question. It is HP Ice. Does it kill from full?
Oh my god. That's
Damn.
I wonder if it's EV'd for that or just unlucky roll.
The world may never know. And Rotom obviously going to go down to a banded outrage. But yeah.
That was a great game to watch.
We sleep talked Flash Cannon there. Either turn, this game was wraps to Infernape.
It was, for sure.
Alright, so that's going to be the series tied up now, 1-1. As we go on to game 3, which could be Seraphs versus Helom on the other side. So 2 Smogon players playing in draft. Helom did have that really successful DCL season. We can get rid of this on the screen. Bang. Coming off of a really nice season. Whereas Seraphs, I don't think has played draft too much at all. And if they have, it's in like individual stuff, not team stuff. What did you do to get this 3rd crown? It's like an activity kind of point system in the YouTube chat. Alright. So Terra types, what do we see here? We see Fairy, Annihilate, Electric, Iron Moth. On the other side, Dark Torn. Interesting.
That's pretty much it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
On that side.
Oh hey, number 1, Cinerath, the goat.
Oh, which Urshifu is that? Is that, I'm assuming dark because there's a wellspring.
I believe so. Yes, it is single strike, and it is not Terra. Alright, so Meowscarada gonna lead off into the Ogerpon Wellspring. Pretty free U-turn here, all things considered. Goes for a Thunder Punch instead, though, trying to catch like a Corviknight or a Torn on the U-turn. But now just gonna go for a raw U-turn, and because of the Protean being used up on the Thunder Punch, the Ogerpon's able to live that and just go for an Ivy Cudgel. But Skarm comes in, doesn't really mind too much. But Helm gonna catch the rocks, Ivy Cudgel again, and now Skarm is, you know, in range. So gonna go back to the Meow, take that Ivy, big crit.
Yeah, now it has to hit into Spiky Shield again.
Mm-hmm. Another Spiky Shield goes for the double, doesn't get it. Goes down to a T-Punch, that's fine. Now Corv comes in, and you would assume this is Rocky Helmet Corv into, you know, Meowscarada D-Knight, Annihilate. So just gonna roost on the Thunder Punch. Okay.
There is no electric resist on the opposing team, and there's a Terra Electric Moth here, which looks potentially strong.
Yeah. And gets the boost from a
Gets the
Fiery
boost
Dance.
too.
It's booster special attack as well.
Oh,
So
agility.
stacks
This
on
thing
stacks.
is a little bit scary for
Oh
the
yeah,
opposing
this
team here.
is looking. The Petra
Like, I wouldn't
comes
be
in.
surprised if it's just one.
It just freaking
yeah.
dies. Yeah,
Does it just win here?
I think it does, right? Goes for the sucker. Even a crit wouldn't kill. Hey, the rocks are up
yeah.
though. The
Seems like
rocks
it's
are up.
one. Yeah.
Torn in, but yeah, at +2 with a booster special attack. Yeah, that's gonna be game.
Wow.
Right, that was
That was
pretty
a quick
quick.
one.
Now many would be
Just
saying,
like that's we really wanted those rock sub gif, you know. with,
yeah,
like,
the Fortress versus Megazord X.
Yeah.
Hey, you know the one. Now, many are saying this might be the wheelchair of the season. Many are saying this. We'll see, though. We'll see.
What could top that? I wonder.
What could top that? Surely not another game from this very set, right? Well, either way, here is the next game, which is going to be DPP Rob Jr. versus Clean, otherwise known as Nick. Alright. And let's see the leads here. Swampert versus Lapras. So Lapras lead, pretty interesting. Usually on like a lead Lapras, you're going to see like offensive, like 4 attacks kind of thing. Because it does have a very vast offensive move pool. Whereas Swampert lead could be rocks, could be like banded or something like that. We're going to find out here. See an HP Grass immediately on Swampert as Superpower comes out, but it's Choppleberry Lapras, and that is banded Swampert for sure. Oh my god. Gonna get forced out by the next HP Grass, as Skuntank gonna be able to come in and take that no problem, but Hydro Pump, it is faster than Skuntank, and gets big damage on it.
Pretty good value from Lapras there.
Yeah. Now, big sucker on the Aerodactyl, a parting gift from the Skuntank. And yeah, it looks like we're just hitting things. Gengar comes in, takes the Stone Edge. Looks to be like a relatively bulky Gengar from that damage. But either way, it's going to go down to Starmie immediately. Neither of these players really interested in, you know, the switching mechanic.
Oh my god. That must be specs, I'm guessing.
That's a Life Orb, yeah.
Oh, Life Orb, yeah.
Yeah, Life Orb mixed Dragonite, pretty standard in DVP OU, and you see why, right? Okay, but Reflect up, now this Hitmonchan's in. How are we going to stop this Hitmonchan?
Yeah, that's a lot of boost. Oh my
It's
god.
at full HP still. Life Orb as well, so Dragonite comes in. Swampert gonna switch out, trying to stall Reflect turns, but it's Light Clay, so the Reflect remains up. Choppleberry and Empoleon does live. Can it kill back? Oh, but it's Waterfall. It's not like Torrent Hydro Pump, which maybe would have killed. Probably not though, right?
Yeah, Hitmonchan has a lot of speed def.
It looks like it's just gonna sweep here. E-Speed not nearly enough damage. Yeah, Hitmonchan able to just completely clean up here.
So that was just agility and bulk up, right? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was this wheelchair of the season? Probably not, right? But that was.
I don't think this topped the previous game.
No. All right.
So this is Natdex now.
This is Natdex. Yeah, we have Goldenberry versus Ineros. Two players I know very little about. So if you know anything, let me know. Going once? Going twice?
Not for me.
Nope. Okay. So, alright. We have a Zeraora team, which is like... A lot of people are kind of hating on Zeraora and Natdex, I feel like. And honestly, when we played this team week 1, we played against this specific draft in Natdex, and Loki kind of just smashed it. So, yeah. Not the biggest fan of this kind of structure.
And yeah, I think that's a Mega Latios as well.
It is Mega Latios, yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so, I think this game would probably do best with, you know, just watching it. You know what I mean? Let's
No
just press
commentary
play.
necessary.
No comment, yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Surely not.
There's no way, right? So, we might have a new candidate for wheelchair of the season, right? Oh, there's just no way, right? Alright, well, that's why he's on the thumbnail, folks. That's why he's on the thumbnail. Oh no, the DPP matchup is still on screen. God. Who let that happen? But yeah, so like... Oh no, Darkrai leads off. I'm gonna go Carbink. Oh, it's a nasty plot. Darkrai, cool, whatever. My Carbink still walls. Tried to go for a Toxic, but no such luck. And I was like, oh, that's not a Darkrai. Okay, sure. Amoonguss goes down. And you're like, okay, I'll go to my Palafin, and I'll just live a Shadow Ball and knock this out with Wave. Oh. Oh. It's okay, Zeraora can like still kill this from full, right? Oh. Oh. And at this point, you've lost. I assume this Carbink is like Body Press Toxic Double Hazard. Yeah, that's a little bit rough, guys. That's a little bit rough. Might be a crazier wheelchair than Phil Swampert. There's also that K-Crick versus Bronson, right? That was a Game 7 decider that he just led Weakness Policy Agility and the game was over in 8 turns. I remember that one as well. But yeah, this is pretty egregious. Like, how do you let this happen? The fact that it's a Zoroark, of all things, is like... Man. Alright. So what's the series at right now? I think this is, what? 1-0 Raging Bolt, tied up. 2-1 Finizens. 2-2. So this game is going to put the Raging Bolts up 1. So it's 3-2 now. And now we have Glogs, everyone's favorite player, versus Spooked, which is going to be Nerf. Alright. What was the Subtoxic Pert? Yeah. Subtoxic versus Love Chance. Left for an hour, was that a Hisuian Zoroark? Do yourself a favor, go back like 2 minutes in the VOD and watch that game. It'll be quick, you'll be back soon. Alright, Glogs versus Nerf. Let's get into this one. We Gen 7. We see a Hoopa versus Uxie lead. Fast Uxie, though, into Hoopa makes a lot of sense, but the U-turn not going to kill, and Weakness Policy procs. It's probably okay still. You can just go Hydreigon. Takes a crit Hyperspace Fury barely, but steals the Choice Scarf. Oh no. That's not good. Now you don't really have anything for this. Yeah, with the Choice Scarf, it's going to outspeed, and now you have to revenge with Scizor. Which is fine, but like, you trade your Hydreigon for Hoopa. It's probably okay at the end of the day, but you lose your Scarfer for the Zeraora and stuff like that. Probably will be okay, though. You have a Nidoking. Alright, Feeny in. Feeny doesn't really force out Scizor, though. Not very easily, so Calm Mind for Sword Stance, okay? They're both getting pretty big. Bullet Punch looks like it does 2-hit KO. Hidden Power definitely 2-hit KOs, but yeah, Bullet Punch gets the roll if it was one. 2-hit KOs the Feeny, and now Cobalion going to force this out, but Uxie can come in basically for free. P is for Pidgeot.
I've returned, and we're
So
seeing
true.
the real Glogs using Glogs on his team.
Yep.
That's Aura.
There's a U-turn. What's coming in to revenge this Zera? Gonna be Nidoking, obviously. Scarf Nidoking, but it's Shukaberry with the +1 Spadef. HP Ice doesn't KO, though. Mesprit is gonna be a pretty free pivot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Alright, U-turn on the helmet guy. Back to Zera, but at this point Zera's at 31. Almost in Bullet Punch range at this point. Never mind, we're sacking our Bullet Punch guy.
A lot of yapping in the chat from Diane Foxington Beso in the game chat.
Yeah, it's a little bit silly. Looks like it's actually an opposing Scarf Nidoking. Goes for a Sludge Wave. That's going to allow Lycanroc in for free. Gets a Sword Stance, and now this is looking pretty scary. And by scary, I mean the Nidoking's going to have to come in and click Earth
full
Power.
HP Nido.
Yeah. The Assault does get big chip on this.
It's a lot of damage, yeah.
Yeah. Locks Earth Power, so Uxie comes in. Can just go for a U-turn on Cobalion if it wants to. Or just a Psychic, that works too. This Uxie might just be Thanos here. Yeah, another Psychic, but
One more would do it, yeah.
Cobalion Iron Head, even if you get a flinch, right?
And now
maybe
this
you
is
would
Scarf
win.
Nido, right?
Yeah, this is, and you can't lock into Earth Power because of
Yeah.
Uxie. And obviously the Zera's going to have something to kill Nidoking at 37. It's going to be
Surely,
HP Ice, yeah.
Yeah.
That's me of the game. A pretty close one. Pretty similar teams on both sides, right? Okay, what are we typing in my chat? Cobalion's head game wasn't enough? Come on. Alright, so that's going to tie up the series 3-3. So it's anyone's series at this point. We have Jimmy G versus AM22 and Oras. This is a pretty fitting matchup between these players. I'm sure they've played plenty of times over the years. Armoy22, yep. That's the GOAT. Alright. Let's lock in. Let's see this game. Blastoise leads off. It looks to be a Mega Blastoise or a Mega Chomp. I'm not super sure which one. Actually, I could just look on my other monitor and it's right there. It's a Mega Stoise. Alright, and then on the other side it is a Mega Bro. Alright, Trevenant is going to switch in on the Keldeo, no problem. Gets burned with the Lumberry, and yeah, we're going to harvest another one. So
Harvested it. That's really cool.
Pretty cool check to the Keldeo, and going to throw off a Leech Seed into no Grass type. So pretty reasonable there. Okay, tricks an Iron Ball into Jirachi, which is a huge deal when, you know, the Mon obviously gets most of its most stuff done when it's flinching stuff. Ooh, really nice double to T-Tar, catches the Trevenant. Do we see a Pursuit here? Pursuit would have to be wary of like a Will-O-Wisp stay-in, so gonna scout that out by going to Togekiss. And here's the Mega Blastoise, goes for Aura Sphere into the Keldeo, which appears to be AV from that damage. Never mind, it's leftover, so it's just max Spadef it looks like. Another Scald, another Day, another Burn, another Lumberry. Do you see another Harvest?
He didn't harvest it this time. Damn.
He did harvest.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Happens at the end of the turn. And now a Leech, but misses, and now if you're Pursuit, now's the time. We didn't click it. Okay, rocks go
rocks,
up, but yeah, the spinner's in, so could just spin if you want to. But you do get a little bit of Sandstorm chip at least. We do reveal Smooth Rock T-Tar. A double to Excadrill on the Raikou, really crazy play.
That's really
Probably
nice,
wasn't
yeah.
expecting Raikou, more so expecting Trev. Okay, a lot of switching going on. Can we attack?
More. Holy
There's
shit.
finally the pursuit. Okay. So Trevenant goes down, and now Keldeo can start to be an actual nuisance. Finds its entry point into the Mega Blastoise. Probably gonna start using Togekiss as the answer, or Raikou. I suppose that's okay as well. I don't know. Yeah, so we're 100% on burn rate with Scald so far. That's awesome. Togekiss in on Raikou. Catches a hidden power something, trying to catch Drill. Probably HP fighting, considering it did 4 with a crit. and more switching. Like, these guys are just switching all over the place. They love switching.
Do we get another burn? Oh.
How lucky can you get? Is this Rest Keldeo? That's what I want to know. It looks like it might
If it
be.
is, it's looking
right?
really dangerous this game now that Raikou took so
And
much chip.
whoa,
and it's
there it
burned.
is.
Yeah.
How are we killing this Keldeo? The only threat to it is Togekiss, and like, there's a full HP T-Tar right there. And like
That's
I
the
said,
Orc here.
there's a 0 HP T-Tar right there. Okay, so locked into Aura Sphere potentially. If it's Scarf, it's not Scarf. It's just gonna not flinch the Slowbro and get burned. Bro,
Another burn.
that's not how that interaction's supposed to go. You're supposed to, I can't move. A really nice Aura Sphere on the switch to Drill as well. Getting a lot of turns right is Jimmy G. And now Chomp in on Iron Head. Is this Rocky Helmet? It is Rocky
Oh, it
Helmet, so
is.
the Drill goes down. Scrafty hits the field, gets the Intim off. Could go for a Dragon Dance if it is that set. Instead, just going to Ice Punch into the Mega Stoice. Not going to get much done. Can go Keldeo on this, but I don't know. At this point, it's kind of hard to switch into Togekiss. And so you assume Togekiss is going to be the entry here on turn 32. Instead, we go Jirachi. Maybe just wanting a slow U-turn into the Togekiss. I could see that being the case. Not risking like coming in on a Scald Burn. Yeah, that's fine, because Jirachi HP doesn't matter. We go Raikou instead. I
Raikou.
guess that's fair too, because there's no Excadrill anymore. You can just go for a Volt Switch. Or a T-Bolt, either one. You're going to pick up a KO. And there it is. But with the Sand and the Burn, I mean, this Raikou's not long for this world. Maybe if this is healing with Jirachi, this Raikou could just take over in the endgame. You see that? Now
Yeah,
Chomp comes in.
It should just win if it gets healing wished.
Yeah. We get the J-Ricky Citrus Berry. Ice Punch kills the Chomp, but Ruskin, Rocky Helmet, Sand. This is going to end up low HP. Does it take a knockoff here? No, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't take a knock. Shit.
I think Scrafty might just win now. Blastoise
Yeah.
is definitely in range, right? Oh, never mind. It
Oh,
did 25.
never mind. Not even close. Holy shit. I guess not.
Goes down. So he sacked our Jirachi for fun there. Love that.
Maybe he was, maybe he forgot about the Iron Ball and already outsped somehow. I don't know.
He'd still be
Or
slower
maybe
is
just
the
thought he
problem.
lived. Yeah.
I don't know, but Raikou gonna get another KO, but with the burn, that is its final turn. And now it's Togekiss versus Togekiss and Slowbro. Already low
Yeah.
HP.
One of them
burned,
is burned and taking sand. Yeah. Oh, and slow.
and
yeah.
that's poetic.
That'll do it.
Don't flinch, flinched, and couldn't move. You see that?
Yeah.
Just
Very sad.
listen.
Or don't flinch there. Yeah.
Alright, so that's 4-3 for the
The other
random
Togekiss
Finnizens.
only speaks Japanese, so he didn't understand.
Oh, yeah. That's probably it, yeah. Now, game 8. This is the decider, right? If,
Yeah, so it's 4-3 right now? Or...
it's 4-3,
Okay.
what are the stakes for? So if Lejon wins, Finnizens win the week. And if Agent Flame wins, they tie. Alright, so playing for a tie is Agent Flame. AM22 has an RGB gaming chair, I bet. That's crazy. Alright, so Terra types. We have Poison Hydrapple, which seems pretty reasonable, into stuff like, Sludge Bomb, Darkrai, Quaquaval, obviously, and Superior. You keep the grass resist, because you don't have another real grass resist, right? They have Roaring Moon, but that can get Dragon Pulsed, so Serp is actually a pretty big threat into this team if Hydrapple doesn't maintain its grass resistance. Right, on the other side, we see Terra Fighting on the Iron Crown and Fairy on the Quaquaval. Now, I'm kind of a pretty big believer in Terra Quaquaval, so we'll see if it, lives up to that in this game. Right, Prim versus Cleavor lead.
The Terra Poison on Hydrapple are going to get a lot of value into the Fairy Quaquaval this game.
Yeah. The Sparkling Aria from Scarf Primarina is going to bring this Cleavor down to Sash as it goes for a Stone Axe. Does 85 and sets up rocks, but just going to go down to the next Sparkling Aria to get a free switch into Superior. Sure. Now Hydrapple is just going to come in on this. Leaf Storm does 5. Hilarious.
Yeah. Gets the Terra up.
I don't like this taunt.
Oh.
Like, what are we trying to taunt? Like a nasty plot there? That feels really strange.
And he
goes all out.
Too.
Yeah.
So Superior immediately neutered.
Yeah, Quark Drive guy comes in, gonna force this out with the threat of, a Psychic. Rotom comes in on the Tachyon Cutter. A Psychic would have done way too much damage. Okay, with the Citrus, it would have been okay.
Expecting Mesprit, maybe?
Do we not have Psychic? Why are we clicking Tachyon into Rotom? I don't know.
Now this Crown is now paralyzed and lost his booster.
Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna sack to the Darkrai. Our Prim is too low HP to switch in. Makes sense. Now, Scarf treads, but the Darkrai lives. Gets a crucial Wisp off. There was no real ground resist there, so this tread's being burned. Really big deal.
Yeah, 14.
Mm-hmm. Alright, Mesprit in on a spike going up. Things are looking good for Ancient Flame now. Serp gonna get sacked off to the Mesprit, but now Iron Crown comes in, I guess. Prim gonna get sacked to the rocks. I don't know. Roaring Moon in, but there's no item on this Crown. It could Terra Fighting if it wants to just trade with Moon. Goes for a sub though, fishing for a full para, gets it immediately.
And gets the para.
And Earthquake actually just kills
massive.
with attack booster. Okay. Chomp in, just takes an outrage, freaking dies. But what this does do is it sets up the Terra Fairy Quaquaval to go for like a Swords Dance or something in this position. You can even go for a Aqua Step to break the sub, right? But okay, it goes for a Swords Dance first. Hits itself in confusion is really massive. Because now this Quaquaval is +2/+2. What's checking this?
Hydrapple will live a hit, basically.
It'll live 1. Keyword 1, right? Yeah. Terra Blast, that's not going to kill a full HP Quaquaval and lefties. Alright, we're going to sack Iron Treads. But this is getting Moxie boosts the whole time. Okay. Sure, Terra Blast into Aqua Step. You get an extra turn of leftovers out of this, so technically it is, optimal. Right now, Mesprit comes in. Can Mesprit live? Mesprit does live barely.
Oh my god, it eats it.
Goes for a Trick Room.
Trick Rooms.
Wait.
Oh my god, and a Healing Wish. Oh, the Roost though.
Oh, the Roost. This doesn't kill from full. We saw this earlier.
It needs a... Yeah, but it should live one. Oh, a crit. Okay. That'll do it. Yeah.
And that's going to be the game.
Wow, that Trick Room really saving the day.
The Trick Room and the crit. Like, Trick Room...
And the crit, yeah.
Trick Room puts you in the position where you could go for the crit. So...
Yeah.
Vital, but also had to get pretty lucky there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Aqua Step killed from 76. That's a question.
That's the thing, because how much did it... Yeah, because he only got a 0.5 boost since the last time, so it might have lived. Yeah.
Yeah, the full para, I think, was a bigger deal than that.
Definitely.
There's a 1 position for Flame because you could stall 1 turn with Roost, but there's multiple Trick Room turns to stall out, right? 1 extra turn wouldn't do it. You need multiple Roost turns. So I think Lejeune might have been okay in this endgame no matter what. Assuming you live a Quack hit from 76. No, Clies, you need 2 roosts. Because, say this, roost, okay. Now, just imagine it's 1 HP Darkrai in the back and you have a Quaquaval at, say, I don't know, 75. Would it? Because maybe the leftovers makes a difference, right? We saw this do 74. 74, it's at 26, you roost to 76, lefties 82. So yeah, maybe you're right. Roost was...
roosted twice.
Roost
yeah.
would have won. Does that work? Huh. I think you need 2 roosts.
Yeah, like he was full. How much HP was the Quaquaval? Full, right?
Class, that's only wasting 1 extra turn, and there's 2 turns of Trick Room left. You need to waste 2 extra turns.
But I think he could have roosted twice and like lived on like, you know, however much HP, and then
No, because then you never get the hit off on Hydrapple, so it just lives the Darkrai hit.
Oh yeah, it would have to be like Psychic.
I don't think you're
actually
wasting
kill
2.
somehow.
I don't think you're wasting 2. So Trick Room, Healing Wish. So this turn would be Terra Blast, Roost. Okay, this turn would be Terra Blast, Aqua Step. And then the following turn... Yeah, if you could take the second Terra Blast, I think you do. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so the crit did matter. Damn, that's tough. Alright, unlucky, Mons. And with that, the Finizens are gonna win the series. Yeah,
Yeah, so
Claes, you're
Finison's
right, you're
doing
right.
pretty well. They had a really close series last week, and now they got a win. So
Alright, and then
pretty
the
good
next
first 2 weeks for
series
them.
is going to be Lexappeal versus the Espada of
Oh.
Ruin. Bang! Alright. So we have OG Albina versus Burna. Now, Burna and OG Albina, they both had really fantastic DFL seasons. I believe they were both around 6'2". Maybe Burna was 7'1", something like that. They had like really fantastic records. My team ended up drafting OG Albina. Burna went to Espada of Ruins. Burna really known for his Sun and Moon prowess.
Yeah, I actually teamed with him in his DFL season, and he was an amazing teammate. I'm glad he got picked up in DWL.
Yeah, definitely deserves a shot in the big leagues. And here, we're going to see... This is an interesting matchup. We have Megazard Y, and this is Mega Diancie on the other side. So the main thing is, like, Mega Yard has no real switch-ins on his entire draft. So that's something we're going to abuse quite heavily with our build. There's also the problem of, like, SD Kartana with Fight Z. No real defensive counterplay. I would say very little exists in the first place, and Scizor, while it's good, it's not great. Especially, you know, +2 Z fight, all that stuff. Let's just look at the game. Okay, Zooch is so mean. This is hurting my feelings immensely. It's kind of messed up if you think about it.
Shame on him.
Exactly. So Diancie going to lead off into Tapu Koko. Now this is, you know, a pretty free U-turn, right? Bang! Into Kartana on the Stunfisk. As Scizor comes in, but OG Albina pulls the trigger immediately turn 2. SD into Z move, but Protect Scizor, really cool tech. Yeah. You're gonna see, through Protect, it does 33. So without Protect, that was doing 130, like 132%, right? something like that. So protect Vital there to live the hit. But
Great
now,
call,
will it
yeah.
live the ensuing Sacred Sword? With lefties, I think it does. Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, just barely.
But it's just a U-turn, so very little chip actually taken. DNC does get in, but Hippowdon is a completely safe switch into DNC, which is why
Gets
Berna,
the double into
a really
Kyurem.
great double to Kyurem. A fantastic play from Berna. And is going to get rewarded with a free Ice Beam here as Bronzong comes in, takes that Ice Beam, but Berna's going to reveal this is going to be like, Brave
And it just kills
Nature,
the Bronzong.
Z Shadow Claw, which does just knock out our Bronzong from 95. I believe was a roll, but
And that's the like only really like I guess reliable Kyurem check left here.
yeah. So if I remember correctly, Owen was saying after the game that the fact that it killed Bronzong from there meant that it is attack nature boosting, which is why our Zard is like very confident in outspeeding this thing, even though we're very bulky. And so we can just set up the Sun, throw off an Overheat, and that's going to 2-hit KO Porygon to
72
with ease.
Yeah.
Bang! Alright, now Kyurem Black comes in. We don't have a super safe switch in. Goes Kartana on Ice Beam. Tries to call out like a Fusion Bolt, but no such luck. Now though, Zard comes in again, and another Mon must die to the Overheat, so that's 2 kills
This
for
thing is just
Zard,
flaming whenever it's
2
in
kills for the Kyurem Black. Now Kyurem Black comes in again. We're kind of just trading blows here as Coco going to hit the field, able to pivot in on the Fusion Bolt this time.
Caught the Fusion Bolt. Nice.
Yeah. And now U-turn, but the Kyurem stays in. But it's okay because if it stays in, it's to go for Earth Power or Ice Beam or something. So Zard can take that no problem. And another Mon must be sacrificed. Flamethrower going to bring this Fisk very low, and a Solar Beam just to cover the switch to DNC or Gren. Totally fine. Now DNC comes in, pretty safe Hippowdon again. But relentlessly, this guy is
Berna
doubling
gets
into
the double
Kyurem Black.
again.
And now it's a little bit of a tricky situation. Starmie in on a Roost. This is a huge reveal. Now the Kyurem does not have like finite HP. It can Roost up back to full. But here a switch to Gren on the Dazzling Gleam. Doesn't want to go DNC. It doesn't want to stay in. Sure. But we have Colberberry Starmie for this very situation, and we get flinched.
Is
So-
huge because this Gren was about to die, and then it simplifies the end game a lot for OG Albina.
Well,
Yeah.
crucially, you still have your Starmie, right, with Dazzling Gleam and
Yeah.
a water move for the DNC. It's a really
extra
important
sack.
piece here.
Yeah.
But here, I mean, we could go Coco, but it's a little bit scary if they go for like a Hydro Pump on the switch, which they could do. So just gonna sack it safely, go into Coco. It's actually Scarf Greninja. So gonna go down to the Dazzling Gleam. But gets a little bit of chip on Coco. A U-turn on DNC into Hippowdon. Finally get the Hippo versus DNC that we wanted. Stays normal.
Now, here I
and
was worried that this thing would have Magnet Rise, the DNC there, but
Mhm. But the thing with like Calm Mind Magnet Rise is you can't really fit all your moves, right? You kind of
Yeah.
want HP Fire for the Kartana and the Bronzong. You definitely want
You want your
Moonblast, and you
stabs.
definitely want a Rock move for Zard. So it's probably
Yeah.
Calm Mind 3 attacks. But here Zard comes in. If this is a Fusion Bolt, that would be a great play from Berna, and it would have just lost the game for Owen. But he gets the call right. At this point, there's no like safe plays. You have to make the calls.
yeah.
And now with Zard in for free, can just go for a Flamethrower, would KO the Kyurem from that range as DNC comes in, takes a huge amount of damage. Hippo in. Do we see a double? Another double.
Yeah,
Burn is
hits it
playing this
again.
fantastically, I have to say. And now it's Kyurem in versus Hippowdon. We see a Coco Sack on the Ice Beam, and now it's a pretty free Charizard and Overheat. If DNC comes in, it will just die, which is what he goes for. He has to go for it. And now it's Kyurem with Roost. So here's the dilemma, right? Kyurem, I mean, it hasn't officially revealed that it's slower than our Yard, but we can go ahead and assume that, right? The Kyurem has to be, like, super healthy, like 100%, to live the Overheat. And even then, like, it might just still die. Like, we're a very strong Overheat Yard. So basically what he's going to do is stay in with Hippowdon and Earthquake, keep this Kyurem less than 100% HP. And you're going to see he goes for a few Shadow Claws here. This is so that Roost can out PP stall Earthquake. But the problem with this is our last move is Fire Fang. So this Kyurem never ends up at full HP. 87 is about as much as it can ask for. Now Zard comes in. Overheat, apparently, according to Burn It, is a roll. I'm a little bit dubious on that. But it is just going to kill. And that's going to be
Great
the game.
game from both players. Yeah. Burnet's doubling to Kyurem was really impressive.
And I believe that was 5 kills for Yard and 5 kills for Kyurem Black. So the breakers really do be breaking sometimes.
Yeah. I even heard that Charizard is only 11 points and got 5 kills.
Many are saying this, yeah. 11 point mon. Okay. Yep, Owen. Exactly right. I would say after that performance, I'd pay 12. You know what I mean? I'd do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright, and now game 2 is going to be Sub-Zero versus... who did he play?
Nim.
Yeah, versus Nim.
It's Nim, yeah.
So Swish, and you're going to see... Yeah, this is like a very bulky team with a double regen. You have the Jirachi, Nidoqueen kind of thing. Intimidate, Scrafty. Very bulky, but not that strong. Like, especially in this situation where your Nidoqueen is forced to be, like, defensive for Zeraora, you don't really have a whole lot of offensive options. Like, maybe you can go for, like, a DD Scrafty, offensive Jirachi, something like that, but definitely more so on, like, the semi-stall balance kind of side of things. Whereas our team, definitely more on the offensive, right, with pivots being Corviknight into, like, a bunch of really strong guys, right? Zeraora forcing the Nidoqueen to come in. If we're able to chip that or remove it somehow, then Lycanroc Dusk becomes a monster in the end game. We have Specs Guzzlord to break early in the mid game. We have Urshifu Rapid to do the same thing. And then we have Michael here, Landorus, able to set rocks and like knock off stuff like the Torn's Boots, the Rotom, you know, stuff like that. A lot of progress making here, and it's on Nim to try to stop that as best he can. There's a Blitzathlon on the bench, yes, but he didn't bring it. Probably because Guzzlord is right there, yeah. So Torn leads off into the Lando. This could be Taunt Torn, but instead it's going to be Bulk Up on lead. Goes for a knock, gets rid of the Chesto Berry. So Bulk Up, Rest, Acro, and the last is probably going to be like Superpower for the Lycanroc and stuff like that. But rocks up, Acro is going to 2-hit KO and Orlando goes down. Now Zera going to Revenge Kill. As Nidoqueen going to be the pivot in. But we sub on the switch. Go for a Calm Mind on this Nidoqueen Raw as rocks go up. And now you're going to see the tech. Normal Gem Hyper Beam going to knock out this Nidoqueen from full after rocks. Bang!
Bang.
Yeah, and with the sub
and then now this thing is still with a sub, but like it doesn't even care that it has to recharge that much, right? Like,
yeah.
He might just get another one here.
Yeah, here I'm literally a little bit confused why we didn't just Thunderbolt again for like the 2-hit KO on Scrafty. That felt like it was probably the right click. It can't kill the Zeraora in return.
Maybe really just wants it safe to revenge the Tornadus if it gets out of hand. That's the thing.
Yeah, probably. Also, like after that, you don't need to like. You could play the longer game, right? Keep the Torn switch in. Yeah, it's fair enough. Now Guzzlord comes in, fires off that Specs Draco, and Scrafty's gone. Bang! Beast boost, beast boost. Alright. Now Corv in on the Torn. Because it's bulk up, Superpower is not going to be able to 2-hit KO, and it's going to take Helmet in the meantime, so Corv can go for a Roost if it wants, or just go for a safe U-turn, you know, keep up offensive momentum, but you don't really need to right now. Yeah, Brave Bird here into the Eldegoss. Can do big damage as a Sleep Powder comes out. So Corv is sleeping, but with Helmet it's not useless at least. And Guzzlord gonna come in, take advantage of that spin turn by finding entry, and now there's no Dark Pulse resist, right? Can't just go for that. I mean, you can synth all you want. Dark Pulse is out damaging that. 56 to Torn. Gonna switch to Corv. Not quite in range of 2 helmets, but pretty close, right? This Torn's gonna exit very low HP. Actually switches to Rotom, so can just save this and go Guzzlord on the Hydro Pump. And now something is dying to Dark Pulse. right? Torn can't really take it from this range of HP. Gonna go down.
Yeah.
Gets the beast boost. Jirachi comes in, Corv sack to rocks. Totally makes sense. You see a U-turn, which makes you think this is probably a Scarf Jirachi, considering, you know, a bulky U-turn Jirachi would probably be the rocker.
Yeah.
And so Urshifu takes advantage of that U-turn lock, can go for a free close combat into Rotom, does 61%, which is a lot of damage. I'm gonna switch into Guzzlord, scouting for like a Scarf Rotom, like Scarf Bulky Rotom, stuff like that. Guzzlord can take 2 Hydro Pumps, goes for a Dark Pulse, knocks it out. So a lot of kills from Guzzlord in this game. 3 so far. That's gonna be it though. That's the last Beast boost. But at this point, it's a Scarf Jirachi and an Eldegoss, so probably not gonna be winning this endgame.
Yeah.
Well, when there's a Jirachi, there's a way, right?
It need a lot of flinches here.
It goes for an Iron Head, but we have Aqua Jet to get ahead of that, get some guaranteed chip on it. But another crit, that's a little bit sad. But it's okay, because we have Sucker Punch Lycanroc, specifically for Scarf Jirachi, and that's going to be the game. So we go up 2-0 in the series. Awesome. We're gaming.
Yeah.
Does Fluxpeel have the most Ultra Beasts across all gens? Do we?
Well, I see 2 on my screen right now.
We might. Low key. Got a Beast Boost. Let's see.
We gotta get Sinnoh on that. He needs to do the math.
See, this week we brought 2 in this game, 1 in Swish. I don't think... Oh, we had a Kartana. Yeah. I think that's it, though. I think that...
Oh, Clyde says he's counting. Give him 3 minutes.
Yeah. You have 2 Usum Necros? That's not an Ultra Beast, I'm afraid to say.
True.
Alright, so Logice versus Low QP. So basically, this whole week, Low QP, he like started out with this crazy build, and then he realized like there's no mock pace that anyone could make that could beat it. So
yeah,
we ended up
he
bringing it.
was even self-counter teaming, mocking himself, and couldn't beat himself. So impressive build he got.
Yeah. So you're gonna see something a little bit strange here, but yeah. All right, lead Gliscor into DNC. We're gonna see Magnet Rise, but Loki P, he's prepared for that. Hits the Crab Hammer with the swiftness. Misses Slowbro, super unlucky. That would have OHKO'd. But rocks go up, bang. And now we get a Toxic on this Slowbro as we just die to Ice Beam. All good. This is like a lead. Just I want to get my rocks up, kind of Gliscor. Now Mega Lottie comes in, sets a light screen, obviously.
6 from +2 Slowbro. Yeah.
Yep. Now Jirachi in as we go for a Shadow Ball. Does 38 and gets a Spadef drop, so pretty nice there. Weavile hits the field on the next Shadow Ball. Now, do we see a Pursuit? We do not, as Comfy is going to be the switch in. Get a little bit of Rocky Helmet chip before the knockoff. And I believe he just goes for a slow U-turn. No, he just hard doubles. Doesn't want to take the helmet. He's a beast. Alright, free Leech Seed. As rocks do go up. Now Rotom can pivot in on the Giga Drain. Lottie can come in on Rotom though, because it's broken. Takes a T-Wave, but I don't think Hex even kills from here. I don't think it even kills. But Weavile gonna hit the field again as we set up another light screen. Triple Axel going to miss, but he just goes for a Healing Wish anyways. And Dan Hopper hits the field, aka Thanos, because he goes for a Swords Dance. You think Slowbro, probably a pretty good check to Dan Hopper, but we have the Fling Big Nugget. Bang. Now Lando T comes in, thinking, okay, Lando might be able to beat this. Goes for an Explosion, we live, and Swords Dance up. Bang. Now Weavile can go for like an Ice Shard and pick us off. But remember that Healing Wish in the air? Yeah, well, we're just gonna throw it away onto our Comfy. But
some say he might have forgot.
Yeah, many are saying he forgot the Healing Wish got used here, so he was like playing around Urshifu receiving the Healing Wish the whole time. This guy's a moron, but he's my moron. The Draining Kiss on the Jirachi switch, sure. Calm Minds as we, Leech Seed? Yeah, Leech Seed. There's no Grass type on their side, so we're like double Leech. But now Flash Cannon just gonna kill. We go to Celesteela. Imagine he just goes Dan Hopper.
Yeah. Trying to Healing Wish it there.
Volt does quite literally nothing to our Steela. As Diancie comes in, gonna get Giga Drained. Bang!
Yeah, good call, because
Literally chop.
he at least cheated. Yeah.
Alright, +1 defense. Rotom in goes for a Pain Split, which is pretty nice for them. But Leech Seed, and like this Steel is still remaining pretty healthy. It gets parried, like, at the end of the day.
It's slow anyway.
Yeah. The best thing this thing can do is like Volt Switch. Here he goes, tries to receive the Healing Wish, and oops.
And oops, where is it?
But it's okay,
Does
because
Rocks go first?
Nihilego is going to be Power of Meteor Beam, obviously KO's Rotom, and we are Speed Boost. So we get that Beast Boost. Jirachi comes in. But
And we
because
have
this
the
is
Hex.
special Jirachi, it can't kill us anyways. Unless it's like Psyshock, I guess. Maybe. But yeah, Hex crits, kills. And Weavile gonna go down. Nihilego Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon is going to win the game. And that's going to be going up 3-0 in the series. Now you on to game 4, which is going to be Zooch versus Fak Luigi.
So Zooch versus Thanos, essentially.
Basically, yeah. So this guy, he's just God. What can I say? That's clearly Glop Girl. Okay, buddy. All right. So Terra types, we have Water Hydrapple and Grass Toxapex. And on our side, we have Flying Keldeo. We have Steel Hydreigon. This team should go 10-0. Well, we're working on it, buddy. Okay? Let us cook. The gloppiest of girls. Yeah, this team is like really awesome. Probably my favorite SC draft ever in terms of just like...
Look at the colors on it,
Yeah,
too. There's a
dude.
lot of blue, but it's really nice to look at.
You have like all of the successful SV like mini offensive cores, right? You have, momentum into Specs Keldeo with, Lando, Meowscarada. You have good removal with Blastoise. You have Flip Turn into these guys. You have the double dark offensive core of Meowscarada, Hydreigon. You have Metagross, a really great versatile Steel. You have multiple good rockers. Like this team just has everything. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of blue. Yep, true. Alright, so yeah, he found out that Terra Flying Keldeo is just Thanos in Mox, and yeah, that's what we brought. So Lando T versus Hydrapple, gonna force the Terra immediately with U-turn. And now Metagross is going to be the switch in on a Draco Meteor, and that is very clearly Specs Hydrapple. But what this does allow us to do is get free rocks as Manabuzz comes in, probably just a defog. But what the defog does do is allow us a free switch into the Diabolic Di.
Yeah, crazy name, by the way.
That's going to be a flip turn into Meowscarada on the Hydrapple. Forces this out as Toxapex comes in, but we just U-turn. And on Toxapex, what do we go to? It's Rocky Helmet. We go to Hydreigon. 3 times the head, 3 times the baso. Now Nasty plots up as Infestation comes out. Now something will be dying to this Life Orb Draco. And it's going to be the
Yeah.
Toxapex. Now Hydrapple in. Can go for just another Dragon move, Fickle Beam. But our Metagross does live 1, so threatening rocks here. Just goes for a Psychic Fangs instead. And sacks off the Metagross. But that chip is going to put it in Hydreigon range. So Hatterene going to be the pivot in on Draco. Nice play from Zooch. Now Lando's going to be able to switch in on that Dazzling Gleam, no problem. Can just go for a Earthquake as Manabuzz comes in. But we're double rocks on this team, so rocks up on the Manabuzz, and we reveal we're faster. So this can just be a taunt preventing the defog, and now rocks are up, which is very important for that Ogerpon Hearthflame.
Yeah.
Now Blastoise is going to come in on the U-turn, but the helmet into the helmet into the helmet, and now this Manabuzz is very low. It's not boots, so this Manabuzz coming in at 24. A Yawn on Hydrapple is going to force it out, and now a flip turn in Greninja. We just go to Meowscarada and it's free, right? Manabuzz coming in, but You're gonna switch
Taking
into Meow,
rocks.
and then like you can't defog anymore. We could just go Keldeo and fire off any move really. But instead of firing off a move, he says, "Hold on, I could do better than that." Goes for a Calm Mind, allows the defog. But what that allows us to do is set up a sub. And now it's +1 Keldeo behind a sub. Hatterene tries to answer us. It's AV, so it takes nothing from Air Slash. But he just Calm Minds again. You can Side Shock if you want. It's 26%. We're lefties.
It's a bulky kill deal.
And now Air Slash is a 3-hit KO. We're gonna flinch eventually is the problem for Zooch. Goes for another Air Slash. This time we get the flinch. And so Keldeo ends up at very high HP. And now what do you even go to, right? Greninja? But like we're +2, we have Vacuum Wave as well. So Greninja goes down, more leftovers. Hydrapple comes in, but we're +2 Spadef. Air Slash 2-hit KOs. Draco, that's Specs damage, just 51%. Yeah, which is a lot. But yeah, now you're just gonna sack Mana Buzz to an Air Slash. Ogerpon comes in.
Revenge.
But at this point, like it's 5 versus 2. You can even just swap to Lando if you want to, which he does. Gets the Intim off. Allows a Sword Stance, but we go for an Earthquake. Gives this thing very low. Goes for a Horn Leech.
A Trailblaze on that turn would have been really
Trailblaze
scary,
would have been pretty
actually.
diabolical. But we are Acrobatics. Meowscarada KOs the Ogerpon Hearthflame. And now the Hydrapple. Yeah. It's not going to be able to 1v4 here. It's slower than everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably should have just stayed in with the Keldeo versus the Ogerpon and go for either a Vacuum Wave or an Air Slash. Air Slash felt pretty safe, but either way, I think you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be the game. So we're up 4-0 in the series. And we go on to Game 5. Oh my god. Does this game look familiar to you?
It does look familiar to me.
Yeah, you want to take over?
Sure. So like, this game we were kind of playing around Iron Bundle being pretty hard to guard here because there's 2 ice resists, but one of them is slower and weak to Hydro Pump, and the other will eventually get worn down. So the game plan was kind of like to pivot around and get Bundle in so he could break this team. And then yeah, I guess we can start the game and see where it goes.
All right.
So that's a pretty ideal lead for the Bundle because the Chomp is pretty much forced out and it gets to flip into whatever it wants.
Yep, gets the flip on Tigaton, reveal Mold Breaker, so you never have to worry about pickpocketing your boots.
Yeah,
and it's free
pretty
rocks.
free rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Coco is Balloon, so it has a pretty decent time switching into that.
Wait a minute, I just realized you don't have Electric Surge.
Yeah, basically
Sir, what is going on?
Gave me my paste and he forgot to put terrain on.
Ah, stupid
No,
Glop.
clearly joking though. It was so that Val wouldn't get the terrain boost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then a free Volt Switch onto Cinderace. The core change, quite annoying, because it got rid of the rocks. And then now Chomp is kind of like Thanos into our team, because now that Coco Switch is pretty telegraphed, and so it can break the balloon, and does not die to Dazzling Gleam, not even close. So the Booga guy gets some chip on the Garchomp so that the rest of the team can deal with it. And then here
we go into
goes
our
for a
Scarf
very-
Hydreigon.
Yeah, threatens the Scarf or Specs Hydreigon, forcing out the Chomp. But Chomp stays in
Wait a minute.
on the Dragon Dance.
Uh-oh.
And Mrs. Draco. That didn't matter because the Hydreigon was EV threat. No, I'm joking. That definitely killed. Yeah.
That killed 2
So that was a
Hydreigons.
very fortunate dodge from the Hydreigon.
Mm-hmm.
And then now Slimy Gang outplays his opponent for the next couple turns, switching around masterfully, and reveals Scarf Crobat crucially, because now there's actually something that can, like, you know, he can make progress on this, you know, like, from getting hit the Crobat in safely. So now 2 more U-turns will kill this, or a U-turn into Val. So I go for the dual Wing Beat to cover the Val and to just hit whatever comes
Hit
out.
something at
Garchomp
least,
gets
right?
sacked here. Yeah, exactly. And at least the Garchomp is dead now. Yeah, and then now Iron Bundle's looking pretty good because he can go for a flip here since it's not revealed. It's revealed to not be a pickpocket. And now Treads really wants these rocks back up because the Crobat is not boots, and it gets nice chip onto the others. Gets knocked off here, but gets the rapid spin.
Yeah, Tinkaton allowing 2 free turns to the Iron Treads is a really big deal here. Like, the fact that you have to bring Tinkaton into bundle or you will lose in, like, 5 turns is, like, really important here. Like,
and then now this Treads looks pretty nice with the speed boost because 3 of these Mons died at EQ. One of them is scared of, what's it called? A steel move. And then, yeah, Crobat, even though Scarf was outsped and has to go down.
all right, now
you would think
Calm Mind.
most Toxapexes would beat most Vals, but not this Val. Because it's bulky, or maybe not bulky, but it's weakness policy at least, and then kind of forces a kill here. And then now it's all on Glogs to force this thing out because Vacuum Wave at +3 is definitely killing Bundle and Treads.
But this is a job for Glogs. He could do it.
Yeah, Grassy Glide forces it out. Then because it's Grassy Seed, just eats that Pyro ball, gets the high horsepower here. And now, is it faster than Toxtricity?
Of course it is.
Yes, it is.
Bang!
Bang.
Now Iron Valiant in.
And it's forced to Vacuum Wave to not get Grassy Glided here. Or like to go faster than the Glide. And now it's all on Tinkaton, which at 49 into Treads Bundle, probably not going to do it, especially when it can't click its main attack on the next turn.
Yeah. Bang!
And then just goes down.
And that's going to be the game. And the series, 5-0.
Yeah,
Damn.
5-0 lead. Very fortunate miss from the Draco for the Iron Bundle side.
Mouskoto Scarabrute. So true. I mean, you have a Mouskoto Scarabrute replay, I'm pretty sure, right? That was you?
Yeah, there is one. Yeah.
It exists.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. Now we go on to game 6. The series is already wrapped up at this point. We have Wagon Fruit up against Habita. Alright. Review that replay. Maybe if we have time at the end. But
if not, I'll link it in the chat.
I think it'll like auto delete any links you put in there, unfortunately. But yeah.
Then I'll write it letter by letter in separate messages.
Yeah, so we'll just go over these relatively quickly. All right, Terraflying Raging Bolt. This is so you can turn you can flip the script on Lando, really, and then Terra Steel Zarude, which is like there so you always beat Overquill, and Jirachi and stuff like that. And it's also a Draco resist, right? They don't have a fairy on their draft, so resisting Draco from the Raging Bolt, pretty important. Right, and the Raging Beso does lead off, gets the special attack booster into Empoleon, and Zarude gonna be the switch in on Discharge. I see both Terras propped immediately.
Terra.
Swords Dance for another Discharge. That's doing a lot of damage.
It's doing a lot of damage now. Forces the Synthesis. And you would think that he could fish for Paras with this Discharge here and win the exchange.
Now here, one thing to note, right? There's only 8 PP on Synthesis, and Discharge doing 45 on a relatively high roll. I feel like you can just kind of stay in and duke it out, right? The next Terra Blast is not going to kill. And you can kind of steal all of the Syntheses here. 4 left. Another 43 roll. He's like gaining 7%. But instead we're going to go Lando eventually. Catches a Synthesis and, you know, gets rocks up for free. Bang. Now, Psychic does very little damage, but Rocky Helmet Lando, I mean, makes sense in the Lando mirror. Ogerpon going to come in, threatens an Ivy Cudgel. At this point, your Ivy Cudgel main resists are like Latios. So it goes for U-turn predicting that, but Overquill going to be the switch. Instead, fair enough. Now, Lando going to just be able to go for a Stone Edge. Misses. Not the end of the world, to be honest. Now, Cyclizar comes in on a Psychic, takes a little bit of damage, threatening an Ice Spinner, doubles to the Ogerpon on the Empoleon. Now, this is really great, because now we can go for a Power Whip. does big damage to this Empoleon. Opens up our Cyclizar quite a lot. Now Overqwil gonna come in on the next Power Whip, but Ivy Cudgel gets clicked instead, a little bit extra chip.
Yeah.
And then with U-turn, this thing is very low. Cyclizar in on the Barbarage. Can just spin here, there's no Ghost type. Empoleon able to come in here, but Rapid Spin does very little damage, 7%. So just gonna go back to the Ogerpon and probably just go for another Power Whip here. Haba makes a really nice play going into Cinderace, taking that Power Whip, but still takes a lot of damage from that. And now we're going to switch to Empoleon, expecting the Cyclizar to come in. Really nice play. Able to set your rocks now. But Cyclizar just going to spin, but Empoleon should win this exchange is the thing. So now the Ogerpon's going to come in on an Air Slash. So a little bit tough.
Air Slash reveal.
And then the Power Whip miss. This is a pretty big deal. So essentially free rocks. But Encore, okay, so it's not the end of the world. And now you can just go for an Ivy Cudgel. Nothing wants to take it. So this will be a KO. And Overqwil does go down. Now Cinderace in, threatening a U-turn. Or even just a Pyro Ball would kill. But Gunk Shot going to be clicked instead. Does big damage. And then Sucker Punch onto our Cyclizar. The grand reveal.
The fin, yeah.
That's going to KO. So surprise KO on our Cyclizar means now that rocks are up for the entire game. It's a little bit tough. Now Crunch on the Overqwil is going to get a drop, which is going to give it competitive on the Empoleon.
Pretty unfortunate drop for
yeah. Now we reveal this is stabless. No stab on Empoleon. It's Ice Air Slash. So Jirachi walls it. That's something worth noting, but for the time being, Raging Bolt will be coming in, going for a discharge. But the Zarude can just come in on this, and it still has 3 Synthesis. We've lost our booster special attack. So
it's only doing 33 now.
Not a great situation.
And you would assume
now
that it's Covert Cloak by now, since it took like 10 discharges and hasn't parried.
Yeah. Now Stone Edge comes out, does connect, and Lando versus Lando. The coughing baby does beat the coughing baby at the end of the day. But now Zarude comes in, and now that Lando has taken all this chip, it's really hard to stop this guy. We go to our Overqwil, get the Rocky Helmet chip on this thing, but because it's steel, it doesn't really have to fear Overqwil at all. Can't just go for the raw Swords Dance in its face, which is the whole purpose of being Terra Steel. But with the Colbur Berry, we're able to go for a Healing Wish into Lando T. So we have a second Lando T here, which is actually a really nice Pokemon in this matchup. Earthquake is really free, only Latias can take it, and Zarude's going to go down to the Earthquake. So Lottie in, but at this point Lottie is looking like Thanos, right? If it has Ice Beam, which it does, it's just going to win the game, right? Maybe Overqwil can take one, but you don't even have to stay in as Lottie. You can go Cinderace, die to Crunch, but now the Empoleon comes in, forces chip on this. You could just go for Ice Beam into Latias Ice Beam endgame, and you know it's pretty locked up at this point.
2 Ice Beams just seals it.
Yeah, I want to say the Power Whip miss on Empoleon was pretty big, but at the end of the day, you know, it's Power Whip. We hit a few, we missed one. It's about as expected, right? I think the main thing that really swung the game, besides that, is the Sucker Punch KO on Cyclizar. That was a really big deal. So getting that play right from Haba, really fantastic. And so that brings the series to 5-1. Now we go on to Jake versus Odin. 2 players really known for their old gen prowess. Odin, Usum in particular. Jake a little bit more flexible, but also well known for his or did I say Oras? I meant Usum. Odin known primarily for Usum, and Jake is a similar thing, but a little bit more flexible. He can play all the old gens at a high level, but Usum is also one of his best tiers. So this should be a great game. Let's get into it. Togekiss leads off into the Electros, a little bit tough for Jake, but gonna take that chip. Dazzling Gleam gonna bring this Electros a little bit low, opens up stuff like the Garchomp, the Metagross, and the Lopunny. Electros most likely to be like a Fizdef Rocky Helmet variant, especially when you reveal the Thunder Wave, means no AV. So yeah. Shaman hits the field, goes for a Leech Seed into the Infernape switch. Don't have great fire resist here, it's just Chomp, so Odin tries to predict the Chomp, gets into Celesteela, but our Shaman stays in because we are Okaberry, and can take that trade into Infernape. But Steeler reveals to be Choice Banded.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not quite enough to beat the Shaman, so Synthesis with Leech Seed is able to stall it out. And now this time we go Garchomp on the Infernape, saving our Okaberry for later. Also covers like a Z fire move and gets up our rocks for free. So good play there. Now Shaman in on the Super Fang. Can just go for a Synthesis here. No problem really. And now we're going to see the trade where we use the Aqua Berry to get some much needed chip on this Infernape with Earth Power. Now the Infernape is in Rocks range. There's no great removal besides Finny. So just going to go Garchomp, and here Odin reveals the Z move. Better use it now or you're not going to use it ever. So the Garchomp does go down to that, but now Lopunny comes in. Don't have a great switch in Lopunny, so just going to let the Infernape go down. Makes sense. Now Zam comes in saying, hey, probably Sash, you should switch. Actually, a nice double from Odin, but Togekiss was the response, not anything else. So, didn't end up working out quite as well. Yeah, that chip on Chomp is really big for the Lopunny in particular. And now, even more chip on the Steela, so our Lopunny is really starting to open up. Now, Metagross in on the Heavy Slam, we had Air Balloon to cover any, like, aggressive Earthquake plays. And now Electros going to come in, but we double to Lopunny. I don't know if this kills from here. It might be a roll with HJK. So he's going to go for a Fake Out, just guaranteed in range, but Garchomp going to get sacked off instead. Right now Zam comes in, again representing Focus Sash. As Togekiss is going to come in on the T-Wave. Alright. Now Eel, not going to be able to take 2 Dazzling Gleams, but gets a full para. I think we just Dazzling Gleam again, right? Another full para. He clicked T-Wave on this thing twice for a reason, and our Togekiss goes down to the Heavy Slam. But now Mew hits the field, and Mew is looking very scary. We go for the Z Inferno Overdrive. Guaranteed knocks out the Celesteela. Don't really need the Z for anything else at this point, so may as well use it. Zam comes in, forcing a KO onto our Shaman. But now it looks like we can just go to our Metagross. It's healthy enough to live a Shadow Ball pretty comfortably. Pretty safely can break the Focus Sash with Pursuit. And now we can finish it off with a Bullet Punch if it stays in, which is exactly what happens. Now Feeny in. Can just get Bullet Punch chip on this. Reveal a little bit about the spread on Feeny. And now it's locked into Shadow Ball potentially if it's Scarf. So Lopunny can just come in and go for a Fake Out into, return. Electros does get the Eye Papa Berry, so it's not Helmet, but either way it's going to go down to the Lopunny. And now Feeny kind of has to be Scarf to beat the Lopunny, but if it's Scarf it's going to lose to our Mew. There's a Quick Attack trying to cover the Scarf, get a little bit of chip if possible. There you go. And now Mew comes in, and Feeny does outspeed, so it is Scarf, but we do have Roost on our Mew, so that's going to be game. Just 2 Psyshocks here, I believe, is going to wrap up the game, and we're now up 6-1. Really dominant from Flex Appeal. And now we go on to Game 8, which is going to be Gypsy King versus Nala. Now this matchup, we decided to go for a hyper-offensive kind of game plan with Specs Sylveon, like a Swords Dance, Lando, stuff like that. Trying to break past these like super heavy walls that Gypsy has for like the Mega Sableye, the Clefable. These are ones we want to just be able to smash through with stuff like Specs Sylveon. So that's kind of what the team is built around. If you look at it, like Vileplume lead off into Sableye, we do have Effect Spore, so Fake Out isn't free. He goes for it anyways, never punished. And now Metagross is going to come in. He has to fear like a Moonlight, or not Moonlight, Moonblast from Vileplume. So he switches into Metagross, but Nala calls that with an HP Ground. Really good stuff. It's Life Orb, fast Vileplume. So we do get another HP Ground on this Metagross. Goes for Rocks, and we're actually threatening a 3-hit KO on this thing. Now with Protect Leftovers, the only reason you really go for Protect there, I mean, now you can potentially live on a low roll, but yeah, you could just switch to Latios. Now this is going to force our Vileplume out in theory, so Gypsy makes a double into Volcanion, catches a Moonblast though, because Vileplume, we not switching. And now here, Gypsy reveals to be a very fast Volcanion, because this Vileplume is quite literally max speed timid. So Volcanion does reveal to be quite fast itself, which means it's a little bit less able to take on stuff like Specs Sylveon. If you look at it, the Metagross is at 40, the Volcanion isn't bulky. Specs Sylveon looks like it should be a fantastic mon here. Now Blastoise comes in, threatening a spin. So Gypsy has a pretty safe Sableye here, but I believe Nala makes a really great play here. Goes for a hard Hydro on the switch out, catches the Sableye. This is Mystic Water Modest Blastoise. Does 54 to a Sableye. Easy to it KO. You can go for a fake out here, a little bit of chip, never hurt nobody. But here it's a little bit of a 50-50, right? Do you stay in on and go for a Hydro Miss as Gypsy, or do you pivot to Volcanion? This is the question. Or you could even go Serp at this point. He ends up going Volcanion, and Nala gets the turn wrong, unfortunately. And now the fast Solar Beam. This is a big deal because it allows it to one-hit KO the Blastoise, rather than having to duke it out with, you know, HP Grass, does like very little damage. And then Blastoise can obviously hit it back. But here, gets around that with the Power Herb Solar Beam. Really good set from Gypsy. And now Lando T comes in. There's not really great ground switch-ins. So Serp is going to be, you know, the switch-in. Takes 33 from Earthquake, which is quite a lot. And now Thundy comes in, catches the Glare. Really nice stuff. Now, this is going to force out the Serp. Do we see a U-turn? Great play from Nala. And now Sylveon finally gets his entry point. And, you know, the Volcanion has healed up with Water Absorb, but still, it should lose 1v1 to Spec Sylveon if it's that fast. But unfortunately, this Latias is going to go for a Healing Wish, and now the Metagross can come back in. And this has kind of messed up our game plan a little bit, because we've kind of spent the whole game playing into the Specs Sylveon, doing a lot of damage. But now the Metagross, Max Spadef Protect, it's back at full HP, and now we don't have a whole lot to show for it, unfortunately. So our own Metagross can come in at this point. On the Meteor Mash, we're threatening an Earthquake here. The ground resist is dead, but Serperior able to come in, and this is a very bulky Serperior, so it is able to take the Earthquake relatively easily, go for a Synthesis, and now this bulky Serperior is like kind of the last thing in the way of like a Lando T. Like if you look at it, dead to Earthquake, dead to Earthquake, dead to Earthquake, to it killed by Earthquake, right? So Serp is kind of like the only thing stopping it. And we have our like our Thundurus designed to take on the Serp. So it's still anyone's game at this point. Goes for a knockoff into Clef. I would have liked to see a U-turn on that turn. I don't think the Serp had any business staying in. If you catch a switch in like to Clef, you can just go Sylveon, throw off a Hyper Voice, put this thing in a range of Lando or something like that. Maybe even go Metagross, right? Force Chip on the Volcanion, something like that. But a knockoff gets the Kibia Berry, sure. Now we T-Wave this Clefable, which I think is probably a mistake because we have to take this Ice Beam in exchange. Probably should have just seen a U-turn to our Sylveon there. But the T-Wave, yeah, we take the Ice Beam. Now our Thundurus is basically no HP after rocks. It's frozen. Really not a great trade there, unfortunately. And so it's going to go down to the next Moonblast. Now we get our Metagross in, but at this point we've lost our Thundurus, which was the main thing stopping Serp. Go for an Explosion on like a Hail Mary. Trying to catch the Serp, right? If you do catch the Serp with Explosion, I think you just win with Lando, right? Lando plus Sylveon. But unfortunately, Gypsy makes the read, goes to Sableye. Honestly, he's probably just sacking it to Meteor Mash to get either Volcanion or Serp in for free. Doesn't really need the Sableye at this point. Loses to everything. But yeah, really nice stuff. Mad? Well, I don't know why he's yapping like that. But Fake Out, and now our Lando does pick up the KO. But Serp in, and now Serp is going to be pretty good here. Oh, you do have knockoff, but this is bulky Serperior, like full Fizz Def it looks like. And yeah. Sylveon comes in, but with the Leaf Storm Contrary boost, it is able to 2-hit KO, and that's going to be the game. So, well played from Gypsy, but I think Nala also had some good early game stuff. The Healing Wish was a really big deal into Metagross. And obviously getting a few turns right with the Boom into Sableye. And obviously this Serperior was just kind of Thanos into this build. We knew that going in. That's why we had this Thundurus, but obviously allowing it to go down to the Clefable was probably a mistake. But yeah, that's going to be the game. We still won 6-2. Totally fine with that as we go on to the last series. Now this is going to be Trick of Eye versus the Plunderers. Yeah. Alright. Let's take a look at this. So you have
We got a
Castelia.
flying. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you can go ahead.
Castelia versus Ii. Ii is like one of the old heads in draft, right? He's been around since the Stone Age. And he's won team tours before. My bad, bro. I've been talking for a while. He recently won the Swish Tour with Triggervi, and he has won DPL in the past. So very much a decorated player. Castelia, though, is like also a fantastic player. More so like a new gen kind of person, but very creative in prep. So it's always tough to prep against Castelia. Anything you wanted to say?
Gonna go over the Terra captains. We see a flying Boulder. It's cool to see Boulder in DWL because we haven't really seen it in the big tours in a while, and it's a cool guy. There's the Fire Crown alongside it, and then on the other side we have Water Goldango, I believe, and Fighting Mew. Yeah.
So Fighting Mew is definitely there to get like a boosted hit into Ting Lu or Cyclizar. Depends on what kind of set you are. Like if you're Nasty Plot, getting the boost on Vacuum Wave into Cyclizar is a pretty nice bonus. But it's probably going to just be DD with Close Combat if I had to guess. Getting the boost on that feels a little bit more impactful and worth going for Terra Fighting. Whereas Vacuum Wave, you could live without it, right?
Yeah.
See, Terra Water Goldango probably means it's just going to be like physically defensive. Maybe T-Wave Hex, maybe Terra Blast, maybe something like that. I think that kind of covers the whole team relatively well.
Nothing really hits it hard here.
Only Cyclizar can wall that coverage, and you could also just have Make It Rain or Dazzling Gleam, right? Yeah, looking at like Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam looks really good into II's team. Like that kind of Goldango with like Recover, Nasty Plot, 2 attacks, like physically defensive, looks really hard to beat. Like, what is II supposed to do?
Water, yeah, with the Terra Water, it's like gonna be really hard to kill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and unfortunately we do see a Iron Valiant mirror, which means one of them is gonna have to win. I've been like low-key hate watching Iron Valiant ever since I noticed that it like never wins anything, despite being like the best mon in the tier, you know what I mean? And so I actually looked it up. Apart from this game, which obviously one of them will win, Iron Valiant has 1 win in the entire first 2 weeks. So yeah, Mon is a fraud as expected. Even going like 3rd overall in all the pools, you're able to get stuff like Ting Lu, which is like the big complaint people were having with Iron Valiant. It's like, oh, nothing ever lasts to round 2 that's good. Here you have a Ting Lu, dude. No more excuses. So yeah, let's get into it. Goldango going to lead off into the Iron Valiant. Really great lead for Castelia. Goes for a knockoff. Procs a weakness policy, and Iron Valiant is dead.
Immediately. And
it's Sash, but same thing.
Sash at least.
I mean, you can just go for a recover.
Is not gonna kill now, so.
Yeah, so Iron Valiant has got a net 0% done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, Sword Stance Goldango, let's go.
So I got 30 to it, I guess. Yeah.
All right, now Ting Lu comes in. Loki doesn't even force this out super easily, but okay.
Sand to him.
Yeah. And there is the DD Mew, which we expected once we saw Terra Fighting in preview. The J. Ricky Citrus.
The Sandstorm Bulldoze is going to do a lot of... Oh,
getting a boost on Drain Punch. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But with Bulldoze, this Mew is never able to like really boost its speed to be a long-term threat. Now Quillfish comes in as a Rocky Helmet. That would be pretty big here. Oh, it's eject button. Oh, okay, sure. Now Boulder comes in.
Iron Boulder threatens that out.
I was gonna say pretty free Sword Stance opportunity, but goes for a sub instead. And
oh, no, okay, no Sword Stance.
No close combat, no nothing. So, okay, so sub Lefty's Boulder with no real way of hitting Ting Lu. It makes me think this Quillfish is probably T-Spikes, right? That's the only way that set makes sense in my head. The opposing...
I'm assuming this Braviary does have Defog, though, since it was brought here.
Probably.
I could be wrong.
Into Ting Lu, yeah, would make sense. But at least force it to click it, right?
Yeah.
The poison type on Castelia's team is a Dragalge, which is benched. So maybe you just respect the Dragalge a little bit, but I don't know. Yeah. Alright, Spike goes up. And there is the T-Spike,
So
okay.
that's a T-Spike. But we lose a lot of HP on our Qwilfish.
Yeah, not the greatest trade of all time. But the flip turns on gold is nice. I don't know why we went gold though. Felt like an Earthquake was really free, right? There's no no immunity.
Yeah.
Okay. Reflect up, and then it is just Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam.
Cyclozar.
Yeah, recover up. Nice, dude. Has Darkrai won games? I think it won a game earlier, right? That was the Specs Darkrai that OHKO to Scizor.
Darkrai, yeah.
Nothing kills this Dango, yeah. Tinglu full HP into the crown.
Tinglu, yeah.
Takes the T-Spike. Calm Mind up. This was Terra Fighting on the crown, wasn't it? Or am I thinking of another game?
It's Flying Boulder. I think the crown was something else. It was Fire.
It's Fire.
Okay, so not
What?
going to help with the Tinglu.
Fire to like beat Cinderace, but like surely the Tinglu is the more important one, right?
Especially because it
Hey, you just lose.
Yeah.
You just
It
lose.
seemingly walls the boulder as well, so
It's that, and you have no ground resist, right? What do you even pivot in on the opposing Lu? I feel like a Terra Flying would have gone a long way, or like Terra Grass, or I guess not Grass into Cinderace. That's like the main reason you wanted to Terra Fire.
but like even just a neutral Terra might have
Terra Flying would
have
be
been
nice. Terra Water. Terra Water, Terra Blast, hello? Like, the solutions to the problem exist, we just didn't do them. I don't know. Okay, this is the world we live in.
Yeah, this Tinglu is I mean Goldango is kind of just
Big shift gear, oh my god. You go for Reflect
and we could do 30
if you wanted to, but yeah, don't even need to. At this point you're ahead so much. Yeah, Iron Boulder in, but like...
I think this has the Terra Flying still, yeah, it does. And now it Swords Dances.
Matches
The
with the
Reflect
Reflect.
is going to mitigate that.
The drop doesn't matter, it's a 3-8 KO either way. Tinglu in, but this already revealed it doesn't have like CC or anything.
Goes for the sub. Okay,
the Whirlwind is really big.
Yeah, that's pretty much going to seal it, I think.
Now you just spam Ruination till you die, and then Iron Valiant with booster will just sweep the game.
Yeah.
Or Tailwind Braviary, that works too.
Yeah.
Bang!
So
Alright.
maybe it didn't have Defog in the end, not sure.
Probably not, right? Tailwind, Brave Bird. What else would it run? Like a move for Crown? And it might be Defiant to take advantage of Qwilfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. Again, Castelia, never a boring game to watch. Zen Headbutt Tinglu, yep. Bang.
Oh yeah, it showed Zen Headbutt at the end.
You see this kind of Tinglu set, and you know the mocks were going horrible. You know what I mean? All right, so 1-0 for the Plunderers as we go into game 2, which is going to be 48 versus Professor Chipboard. Now, 48, much more of a Smogon player, from my understanding. Has kind of dipped into draft as well, with the new like black-white draft stuff going on. Whereas Chipboard is much more a draft veteran, not as much used to the format of black-white. So it's a little interesting. Like, do you favor the guy who's been playing draft forever, or do you favor the guy who's like a little bit more involved with black-white? Well, we'll see, right? Let's get into it. We have Sock. Sock on these nuts into Mamoswine. So good lead for the Sock. You would assume this is going to be sturdy lead. Close Comment comes out into the Sash Mamoswine. Do we see an Earthquake into Ice Shard? We do see an Earthquake into Sturdy. Now, do we see an Ice Shard or do we see an Aggressive Rock? So we see an Ice Shard, so it gets the call correctly. And now Jolteon in.
Exchange. Oh.
You can Shard to break Balloon if you want here, but I don't know if that really makes a difference outside of the Mamoswine itself. So I'm just going to pivot to Jirachi on the Hidden Power Ice. Makes sense. Recall Mind, but the Lando T comes in. Is it Shukaberry? This is the only way it makes sense, right, for this play. It is Shuka HP Ice, but it's Yachi Fast
Yachi.
Lando. So yeah, it looks like Professor Chipboard either like made a calculated risk to be like slow Jirachi or just guessed wrong on the Lando T creep. Either way, this Earthquake is going to force it out, and rocks go up. Really nice play from 48. Can get a U-turn on Blastoise into Hydreigon, would punish a Scald or a Spin for a free Draco, and now Mamoswine is going to be sacked off. Goes for Dark Pulse, that's fine too. And Salamence is going to come in, and Salamence is looking scary because the Dragon resists Fortress, which is horrible, and dies to Flamethrower. Suicune going to take the Draco Meteor, does 53% with Life Orb. Could we see an Outrage follow-up? Let's see. A double to Hydreigon on the Outrage. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Oh, no. But now Fortress at least can take advantage of the locked Salamence. It can't click Flamethrower now. Gets a 2-turn Outrage, which is a little bit unfortunate for 48. But it goes for a Roost instead, so Salamence not really phased by this Fortress as Lando comes in. Lando's actually faster than Salamence, so that really reinforces to me that Professor Chipboard just thought the Lando would be slower and like aggro creeped on all his Mons.
Yeah.
But either way, Suicune, after the Draco drop, the -1 from Intimidate, will be able to take on the Salamence pretty comfortably with the Ice Beam. Jirachi in though, will it be faster than this? We don't know. Goes for a Calm Mind, but Lando makes the nice pivot in, and Earthquake is pretty free. Protect is strange. I don't know why we're Protect on this set, but sure. Go Salamence on the Earthquake. But we already revealed this was faster than Salamence and is going to be packing HP Ice in this matchup.
Hit an hour, yeah.
So Mence goes down, but now Cobalion hits the field with the balloon intact. And Fortress is the response. Now the question is, does it have T-Wave? T-Wave would stop this, but no, Fortress is just bad, it looks like.
If this isn't T-Wave, yeah, this Cobalion is looking scary for this endgame here.
+4, +2, that's obviously going to kill everything, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the game. Tries to get the Intimidate, sacks Suicune.
Yeah, intimidates.
But even if you are able to take the hit at this point, I mean, I don't think you have the tools at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. It already did so much.
And it does just kill the Lando. And Chipboard does find the win condition eventually with the Cobalion. And that's going to be the game. So that is now 1-1 in the series, all tied up. And we on to game 3. Black White feels so weird to watch. Why is there no weakness policy anxiety? There's no weakness policy. There's no assault vest. Yeah. All right. Game 3, we have I Make You Rage versus Hydra.
Oh my god, wait, we got a triple Ultra Beast as pointed out by Hydra himself.
Oh my god. We got the Beast Boost. Yeah. Probably had to Volt into Lando and win the 50-50 and get the attack drops. Okay. Yeah, we got a soundboard in the server. Awesome. Lovely. Noble Cephalon, no Zerk. Shame. Yeah. Yeah, this team would go hard with a Zerkatry over the Piloswine slot, right? I feel like the Hydreigon, it looks cool enough where you can just fit it in there. But anyways, look at this one. So both these players, pretty good results recently. I believe Rage had a really solid Swish Tour performance. I could be wrong on that. I'm not 100%, but I think he did pretty well. And then Hydra, obviously known for his Swish. So it should be a good game. Piloswine is going to be Oblivious, gets immune to that Lando T Intimidate. It's a Jetpack Lando though, so Superpower, that's actually really cool. You Superpower into Piloswine or Celesteela and you get momentum from it. Like, that's a really nice Lando set here, I think. But now Aegislash is going to go for a close combat finish off this Piloswine, but it did get Rocks up, which is kind of what it appears to want to do. Steela comes in, just going to use this as an autotomize opportunity. Rotom, though, pretty much as good of a Steela check as you can ask for.
Oh, it's Scarfed, yeah.
And by that I mean it's going to die immediately. Yeah. But it did trick as Choice Scarf onto this Steela, so it's now locked into Energy Ball. So Aegislash can force it out. We go to Necrozma, hard calling the close combat, but gets it right. And that appears to be Choice Banded Aegislash doing 35 to a Necrozma. Goddamn. That's an offensive Necrozma, and yeah, it's going to be Dragon Dance. Goes for a Photon Geyser. Is going to 2-hit KO Lando, but Earthquake very strong. Going to bring this thing very low. And Brick Break trying to catch the T-Tar pivot to kill it with sand. But Rage just stays in, does not care. Goes for the Earthquake and knocks out the Necrozma. That's a pretty heads-up play from Hydra. I'm not gonna lie, like that probably would have worked on me. But Rage one step ahead. Now Kartana though gonna be able to revenge, and Crobat gonna come and takes the knockoff, which is really important for a Scarf Kartana endgame. You really need that Crobat to be low HP. The defog goes off, really nice. But Meteor Beam Necrozma gonna be able to claim a kill here. Should be checked by the Aegislash, no problem. And you don't really have a CC immunity. Oh,
subs to get it into the small, like the offensive.
That's really good. And so now we have to go T-Tar.
Gets another sub on it.
Yeah, but Dazzling Gleam is gonna chip this thing quite a lot. It's not gonna kill, so T-Tar does make it out alive, but only barely. And this does open up stuff like that Scarf Steela. You can almost get to a point where you can click Flamethrower. There's a lot of these guys.
Reflect.
Wait, hold on. We got to talk about that.
Reflect
Hydreigon comes
really
in
cool.
on this T-Tar, which is just going for Crunch. I don't know.
It might. I guess it just doesn't have another move.
Is this like Spadef Bandit or something? Because I didn't do that much. 19 is banned?
Is quite a bit, yeah.
That's banded? Yo, T-Tar needs to hit the gym. Add a max attack? Are you sure?
Okay.
That's 18.
Wow.
Well, this Hydreigon is going to set up to the moon. Yeah, T-Tar needs...
This just looks like it wins here, right?
Yeah, with Scale Shot.
Sashed. Oh, it goes through Sash, yeah. Damn.
That's going to be the game, right? There's no way Shadow Sneak kills. Yeah, going to go for the Earthquake, knock it out. And that's it.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter at this point because the two in the back should beat the Crobat.
Yeah. Scarf Cart. Bang. All right, so now that is going to be what? A 2-1 for the Plunderers. All right. Now we have Rai versus... who is this?
Shali's Grill and Bar.
This is CN Corsolas is the Smogon name. Don't know a whole lot about this guy. But I do know Rai is like one of the best ORAS players in the game right now. It's Gaiman. I've heard Gammon as well. I don't know how it's pronounced. I always say Gaiman in my head. But okay.
He's gaming.
He is Gaiman. Alright, another Mega Guard. This time has to deal with double steal, which is like as much as you can ask for really for the guard matchup. ORAS Mega Pidgeot though is quite rare. Right. Alright. I did not bring a good Primal Groudon answer. Probably true, yeah. Probably. Alright, let's get into the game. Roserade gonna lead off into the Druddigon. Could be a Spikes lead, could just go for damage. Flex to go for damage. Glare is gonna be potentially absorbed by Natural Cure, but at the same time, I think you probably want to be Technician like HP Electric in this matchup. Either way, Druddigon gets rocks up and some chip on Roserade in the lead sequence. Crook gonna revenge this Roserade, gets a Moxie boost with Crunch, so this is almost certainly Scarf Crook. No other set would really run the combination of Moxie Crunch. Keldeo comes in, goes for a Toxic, which gets synchronized by Guard. And now what, do we see an HP Ground and HP Fire? Oh, we're gonna see a double to Jellicent, which actually covers both the Heatran, the Scizor, or a Stay-In from Keldeo. Really nice resourceful play from Rai. This is a really nice Jellicent pivot. Now you're gonna see a Scarf Water Spout. Bang! The Heatran is dead. Oh my god. Keldeo in, but like Guard can just come in on this like Hidden Power Electric. Probably. Like it's totally fine trade for Rai here. You just go for a Hyper Voice, big chip on anything, even the Scizor. And you have a Skarm in the back for the Scizor anyways. This is looking very dominant at this point. Pidgeot comes in, but because of Aura Speed Mechanics, it's slower than Guard on the first turn. It would be faster if it was Max Timid, but it's not, so it's just dead. Awesome. And he goes,
I
this
guess
is
that's
why,
why
we
we don't draft it.
Yeah. I mean, it's cheap for a reason, right? Bang. And I have Scarf Jellicent here. Can just click Shadow Ball into Mew. Looks like. Okay, the AV Mew. Awesome. Yeah. That's going to bring it very low. And it looks like Scarf Crook should just wrap this one up, right?
Yeah, Earthquake a bunch. Or knock off a bunch.
Mm-hmm. Rye lost to No Guard Sheer Cold. Always something with you guys, huh? Goes for last ditch sword stance, but with a full HP Skarm, full HP Thundurus, and even Crook living, that's gonna be the game. And you can see why they say Rye is like one of the best ORAS players in the game right
Yeah,
now.
that was pretty impeccable.
Yeah, like no major mistakes. Everything looked like it went to plan. Like awesome Jellicent switch. That was like really smart.
Chuzzlord in the game chat saying Chuzz
Chuzzlord.
at the end. Chuzzed.
Okay, buddy. All right, and now we can go on to game 5. It looks like the score is now what, 3-1 for the Plunderers. So with this game, Soggy Doggy Sage could clinch a tie at the very least, but up against Hacker. Now these two players, Hacker has won the Smogon Awards for the best draft player twice now, I think, which is a little bit of a meme in the community, but like, sure. Soggy Doggy Sage, I believe, got second place in the 2024 vote, which she deserved to be number 1. I'll go ahead and say that. Probably also be a dominant ORAS player. People were donating their megas to me. Look,
she won the circuit as well that year.
Yeah, totally dominant year from Sage. Crazy she didn't win, right? Yeah. But okay. Should be a cool matchup. This is Natdex. Which Zard is this? This is going to be Zard X. And yeah, let's look into the game. On the other side, no Mega. It was a benched Mega Gardevoir. So Valiant leads off into Lando, gets huge damage immediately in exchange for rocks. Can just Moonblast again if you want to, but goes Torn trying to catch the Aegislash, which is exactly what happens. Gets a knockoff immediately. As Head Smash comes out, and we just dodged that like a beast.
You would like to think that would kill, yeah.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah.
And now we can U-turn, get out of there, into Tinglu, and yeah, this Aegislash should be pretty contained at this point.
No. Another one. That one mattered a bit less, but yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Unfortunate.
Still no Slitherwing. I'm gonna have to sleep and I'm like, angry. That's tough. Sorry you feel that way. Okay, Chople Tinglu is able to take that trade, free spikes, and then now Earthquake into Lando, get some free leftovers. I do like lefties Lando into Tinglu matchups. You kind of just live forever. And now Cyclizar can come in, threatens a Rapid Spin, so Torn could stand and go for a knock. Could switch as well, and there is the Rapid Spin into Muck. I think this favors Sage, this sequence, because you have rocks up, you can make a U-turn in a Lando play. If an Ice Punch comes out, then cool. But T-Spikes come out, that's kind of a really massive deal, actually. Hold up.
Also, that Cyclizar had no boots on, from what I remember.
Yeah, it took rocks. Or Spike, I guess. Yeah. Bronzling able to take 2 knockoffs, gets the rocks up, so these hazards are going up. Probably going to have to force a spin with Cyclizar. And Cyclizar is going to come in immediately, but I think you just go Val, right? Hey, you go Val, and if you spin, you're going to die for it. So yeah, it goes for a U-turn. Has to sack something. It's going to be the Aegislash. Okay, Liz on 1. Sure. Goes for a sneak, get a little bit of chip on the way home.
A lot of chip, actually. Huh?
Yeah. But now what? Aloe comes in, takes the poison, and like you're not forcing out the Val really. You can just go for a Moonblast, and yeah, this is tough. Maybe now it's in Cyclizar range, but I can't imagine it wasn't in Cyclizar range before.
Do we go for the spin here? No, double edge. Okay. 27.
Well, you can get the spin off here, but the Aloe's already poisoned, which is kind of. Oh, you don't even spin. U-turns to Lando. I guess if you spin on Muck, they're just going right back up, right? So you don't really gain anything.
And you're slowly dying from
yeah, so Lando comes in,
poison.
gets the knockoff on Muck, but it's Sticky Hold, so
no
knockoff. Now this Lennis, it might go down to the next poison. We don't really know. It's a rounding error on Showdown, and it does go down.
Oh, it does go down.
But now at least you can go for the
Charizard really
spin
should,
for
thankfully,
free.
yeah.
Goes for a double edge instead.
Oh, wait.
I guess this is fine. But Val comes in. I think this is Scarf Val the way he's been playing it.
It was
Oh, no,
slower
it's
than the
not.
U-turn from Cyclizar earlier.
No, you're
yeah.
right. You're right. Is it Specs? I was thinking it's like choice to Val probably. Cyclizar should have lived
It
this
is
and
being
kill with
played like
rapid
that, yeah.
spin. Yeah, that's a big turn
Nice, we get
for
it off.
Sage. Yeah,
Good.
get all those nasty layers off. Now the Cornerstone. How are you beating Cornerstone? Surprised we didn't just go straight to it. Like going Aloe does
Yeah.
allow the T-Spikes to go back up potentially, but now finally gets the correct Cornerstone in. Rock Tombs on the Torn. Yeah, U-turn's gonna break the Sturdy, but like, does it matter? Ting Lu is your response to Ogerpon. Like, that has to be pretty
Yeah.
dire, right? I mean,
Oh, Heavy
synth on
Slam
Heavy
doing a
Slam.
lot.
I don't like the synth play. I think you just go for like a Horn Leech or whatever attack you have.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the last... like, surely it has a grass attack here.
I don't like that flip into Ogerpon either. Like, this is the guy that wins. And now it's at 11?
Getting into
Like,
range, I guess.
there's gotta
But,
be a better way,
you can't really
right?
flip into it again, because this time it'll die. So you gotta go... Oh, it... Okay. Oh,
Okay.
spikes go up, though.
I don't know how that worked.
Interesting.
Okay.
It might
That's just crazy.
Is it like a
we
spike
don't
set
have-
with no
We don't have grass move.
I guess. Yeah. Well, worked out because we
Okay.
scared in the torn. Yeah.
Yeah, but now Darkrai should be able to wrap this one up with Ice Beam, Dark Pulse. That's gonna be the game.
Yeah.
Life Orb, Darkrai. Good cleaner in this end game, and yeah, that's gonna be 4-1 in the series now. So
Yeah.
clinches a tie. One more win will be the series. And we have Sablo versus Olivia in Gen 9. Right, another like similar team, right? Torn and the Corner Pawn.
Ogre. Yeah.
Right, this one,
Oh, I guess they were on
I-
opposite teams on
yeah.
this one, but yeah.
there's the corner, but the Torn. A lot of Torns in this in this series. Like that's 3 of them already.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got 2 Terra Flying Torns, it seems, and then
Yeah, that's unusual for sure.
not sure what the other Terras are on these, but probably the main Terra is going to be the Torns. We have a Shaman Electric, I think.
So that
Is that
it's
Slowbro also?
it's Terra Shaman on this side, and then on the other side it's a Terra Infernape that was benched.
Okay.
Yeah, but Terra Flying feels a little bit strange, especially versus Corviknight, right? Like you would expect something to like handle that, or at least like a defensive typing to, you know, better.
They might be set on Terraing the Shaman. Electric does look
Sure,
pretty
but
potent
like even
here.
if you're gonna like your plan is to Terra the Shaman, which if you're bringing it, it probably is, right? But you
Mhm.
should still have something on the Torn, right? Go for like
Yeah.
Terra Ghost, which might come in handy versus like an Iron Defense Corv, something like that. Just like you don't need to default to flying, but okay. Terra Shaman does look pretty good here. You have Terra Blast for the Corv, you have, you know, and the Torn. You have Grass Stab for everything else. Makes sense. And this Sablo team is like kind of the new standard, I guess. I don't know if I would say that, but like we saw multiple
can't get
Torn,
Tinglu anymore,
Corviknight,
right?
Petrunts. Like,
yeah.
Torn, Corv, Petch, pick an Ogre, and then like pick a mid-ground type, so Crook. Yeah, it's like pretty reasonable build. A little bit
Now that
early
all
on the
the,
Corv, right? Round 2.
Now that the Torns are going like round 1 or round 2, the Val is getting the Tinglu before it gets to them, so we haven't been able to see any
Yeah.
Torn Tinglu teams, I think, this tour.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's look at the game. So Crook gonna lead off into the Shaman, no Intimidate, so this is Scarf Crook
Oh,
for sure.
it's
Gets a
Gunk Shot.
huge Gunk Shot
Amazing.
off,
Into
and growth. But with lefties,
Okay.
you can Terra and live the next one if you want to, but probably just more interested in going Tinkaton and getting rocks up, which, fair enough, that is a good play. Gigaton hammers instead, so no rocks, and then Sablo over predicts, goes for a knockoff, but this Tinkaton was Shuka anyways, just stays
Yeah.
in, gets the rocks. Now Corv,
Do we knock
Makes
here,
a pivot
maybe?
in.
Or Gigaton, okay.
but a T-Wave on the
T-Wave's
Corv,
the
so now
Corv.
this Corv not guaranteed to move, which is a big deal with stuff like Dragonite and Shaman,
Gets rocks
potentially
backs
getting
up too.
free setups. Yeah, the rocks up again is pretty big. Now, okay, sub Torn into Tinkaton, this is pretty standard. Catches the T-Wave, and now Heat Wave gonna get Encored.
Into Heat Wave.
Right, switching, trying to get ahead of the switch, but Corviknight doesn't cover like the Cinderace. Doesn't really cover the Bro either, to be honest. Like, weird switch from Sablo.
Yeah, slower than Bro after the Para.
Yeah, it looks like it's an offensive Slowbro with Hydro Pump. 2-hit KOs the Corv. Now Ogerpon comes in, but it looks like this is EV'd for Power Whip, which is really important. You break the Sturdy on this guy with Body Press. Don't risk a miss.
Get a lot of chip. Jeez.
Yeah, really big from Olivia. Now Tinkaton gonna get sacked off to the Trailblaze plus Ivy Cudgel, I assume. Yep. So no rocks for the rest of the game. So Corv did its job even while paralyzed, but Dragonite can come in. Is that an E-speed range? Probably not, right? So
no, yeah.
I don't know why we're
resisting it.
I feel like you could have just gotten the multi-scale off. But I guess if you're Fizdef Primarina, it's okay to just go to it. But now we're just gonna Dragon Dance on this thing. Flipturn's gonna break the multi-scale, but we're in trouble here. Petrant comes in, but Earthquake's gonna 2-hit KO. Never mind, J-Ricky Citrus to the rescue again. And we do get the poison. Yeah, 50% chance. Another Earthquake comes out, and a critical hit on the Pecharunt. Oh no.
Okay, now we're really in trouble. Yeah.
Now Primin can take the hit. Barely. It's Rocky Helmet. But Dragonite does go down. You have to assume like this all could have been avoided if we just Ivy Cudgel with our 40% Ogerpon, right?
Yeah.
But okay. Now Shaman comes in, and Shaman is looking really good here with
Terra
Electric.
It's pretty hard to guard it now, yeah.
Well, the problem is once you Terra Electric, Scarf Crook and Earthquake, but you always have the Torn in the back. Like that's the main problem. It's Shaman plus Torn. And Growth makes me think this is like a special Shaman. Okay, going Torn is definitely not it, because this is just going to Terra Electric in your face. Goes for a Terra Blast, does huge damage. Now you're threatening Heat Wave, and it's going to land a little bit to the left.
Don't think that was killing.
Yeah, I think this is wrapped up for Olivia no matter what. Maybe it simplifies the end game. You can just like stay in there.
Yeah. This might not be... Is this Scarf Crook?
It is Scarf, and
so
tries to call the Torn switch. Doesn't happen. Sablo getting every play wrong, Olivia getting every play right, and Primarina obviously going to go down. So well played from Olivia.
Olivia doesn't even need to switch there, because if it Earthquakes, the Torn is going to win like anyway. So
yeah, really nice Shaman set.
No comment.
No comment. Yep. That's always funny. Hey, if I can motivate you that way, keep doing it. All right. And that's going to be the series, right? That's 5-1. So a really dominant showing from the Plunderers. And now we have some DPP. Let me get that on the screen for you guys, so it's a little bit of a nicer viewing thing. Where is it? There. Bang. Oh, I did it too fast. There. Kind of
Is that 5-1 for the Plunderers?
That is 5-1. They've won the series.
Nice.
All right. 2 games left, though. And here's one of them. So Violet River versus Vanga Banga. Who's on which team? So Violet River is on the Plunderers, who have already won the week, and Vanga Banga is on the Trick of Eye team. All right, let's see the leads. Starmie versus Nidoking. And now we can look at maybe the matchup a little bit. What are the most likely things? So Nidoking here, I don't know, like into this I would expect like a Pasho Berry if you're leading off with it, maybe Shuka, but I don't know. You want to be able to take on the Starmie at least. Maybe you're okay because you can just go Sceptile on the Starmie lead. We'll see. And he does just go Sceptile on the Starmie lead. So catches a Surf. And doubles back to Nidoking, expecting the switch, catches it perfectly, and now the rocks can go up. And if Starmie wants to spin, it can, but chooses not to. Like a lead Starmie is less likely to be carrying spin, which something worth noting. Gets the Synthesis off, but now with rocks up, Okay, Life Orb Altaria. Yeah, that does so much damage. Oh, the Mega Horn. Huge.
Oh, Mega Horn is
actually so
massive.
big. And another Surf. Is Starmie not interested in clicking anything for this Sceptile? And now it's going to go down to a HP Ice, it looks like. Wait, Altaria comes in. That was HP Ice, right?
Yeah.
You just assumed it was fire? I don't know. But
A little bit of a misplay there.
and this Sceptile is getting off the Goob Nut. Okay, but Salic... Oh, whoa. Hold on.
Wow,
Hold
this
the
looks
phone.
threatening.
What's checking the Celebi?
Yeah, let me see this graphic again.
If it's
doesn't
just
look like much.
dual stab
Maybe like
Earth
the
Power,
Altaria.
other team.
Oh yeah, true.
It has to be Zatu.
Yeah.
Like dual stab Earth Power.
Or maybe like a Shuka Heatran.
Maybe
might live one.
maybe a bulky Gyarados from full can live. Yeah, it's like Gyarados, or if you have it, you go Zatu, right? Obviously, you sack the Sceptile. Makes sense. And he does bring the Zatu, so this should be able to take a hit quite
Okay.
comfortably. At 45, okay, never mind. Not a problem at all. Switch size to match the graphic. Let's do that. Right. Okay, so we U-turn on Celebi, bring in our Rotom Wash. And if you don't know, in DPP, when you draft Rotom Appliance, you get all of them. So going Rotom Wash means it's quite deliberate that you want Hydro Pump. They're all Ghost Electric. But Hydro Pump comes out on the Regirock, which just sets rocks, and then freaking dies to Shadow Ball. Okay, so free rocks, I guess. Electabuzz gonna get the para on the Rotom Wash, and Rotom Wash gonna para the Electabuzz in return. This is so cursed. Shadow Ball is just gonna 2-hit KO these Electabuzz. Rotom Wash is very strong, more of an offensive piece in a lot of DPP draft. And now it's Blaziken versus the World, and I think the World is probably pretty good here. Yeah, T-Wave and
Yeah.
with
I think the world has
Ulchen
this one.
Para, this Blaziken cannot boost faster than 284 speed, even at +6, so it will be unable to sweep. And it doesn't even kill Rotom. Okay, Para. Sure. Yeah. Electabuzz clicked T-Wave 3 times just to make sure the electric type could be parried. Yep. And Gyarados is going to be faster and knocks it out, and that's going to
Clean
be
game from
the game.
Yeah, clean game from Vanilla Base.
Yeah.
Oh,
And now
we have Can I Get Beso?
So who is this? This is going to be Undead versus PZZ. Alright, Undead obviously is...
Oh shit,
Yep.
Dashing Kev's just joined the call.
Oh my god. Dashing Kevs, is that really you? Alright, so PZZ versus Undead. Two players really known for their Usum battling. And yeah, it should be a good game. The series is already over. This is the last game of the week in terms of what we're covering here. And yeah, let's get right into it. Right, D-Knight lead versus Salazzle. So lead D-Knight could be like weakness policy, could be like DD Life Orb is something that you could see to break open teams quite often. But instead it's just going to get faked out by Salazzle, breaks the multi-scale into HP Ice, does so much damage, but it's actually Z Dragonite into Sash Salazzle.
Oh, the Sash.
Yeah.
Do we see E-Speed?
We're probably going to see an E-Speed, but also there's no way Undead just sacks the Salazzle for fun. We have a full HP Steelix. So
Yeah.
PZZ takes advantage of that. Oh, no Steelix. I'm surprised. But dodges the
That
overheat
overheats,
anyways. Still threatening like priority, right? The rocks go up on the Rotom. You could defog here if you want to, and he does elect to defog. Dragonite in, but it's going to be slower than Rotom and dies to Volt Switch. So all in all, trading your Salazzle for Dragonite, basically, I think you'll take that as Undead. Now Salazzle
sure.
in, Kartana comes in, reveals itself to be Scarf just by going to it. So you can just go to your max defense, Rocky Helmet, Steelix, get the rocks up. Now Piloswine able to trade rocks, it looks like, and Mienshao going to come in, threatening HJK, as Necrozma is the answer. Does 29 with leftovers that appears to be like just bulky Necrozma. Could be Calm Mind here. It doesn't have rocks on on its rocks on Piloswine. But with knockoff, I think, okay, now it's probably not Calm Mind knockoff. Lando gets a free Earthquake into Piloswine, but Rotom Wash is going to be a free pivot in there. Really nice double to Kartana. That's going to earn you some even more chip, and by more chip, I mean the Salazzle sack to rocks. Yeah, there it is. So congratulations. You see it locks into Leaf Blade, so now Latios can hit the field, and you don't really have great switch-ins to Psychic into Draco. Or Ice Beam, that works too. Okay, Necrozma actually took nothing from that. So Lando gonna pivot in on the Morning Sun. The only ground resist is Gyarados. So, okay, the ground resist is Necrozma actually. I misspoke. And Protect leftovers. Morning Sun. Okay, this is a cool set. And by cool, I mean hard walled by Steelix. Okay, there's the Z move, so gonna earn a KO on Piloswine with that. But Lando is gonna take that toxic damage. It's gonna be basically dead. I would expect it to be just sacked off to the Kartana here, and it is. Another Leaf Blade, another day, another Latios hit. But Necrozma, we saw it switch in before. Does it switch in again? Koko is gonna be the answer this time. And Ice Beam is gonna 2-hit KO. Is it Scarf Lati? It might be, but it might be Scarf Koko to match. We don't know. Now Necrozma comes in. Yeah, this Latios is dead to rock, so Rotom coming in, probably more so pressure to defog here, and it is going to defog. But I'm looking at it like, how are we stopping this Kartana in the endgame? Steelix is already low. The Mienshao, I guess? But that Mienshao is slower than Scarf Cart. Latios obviously in range. So probably it is Scarf Lati and Scarf Koko. I think that's the vibe that I'm getting here. You need Scarf Lati to check the Kartana. But okay, Steelix does come in here on the Protect. Really nice play. You can get your own rocks up here if you want, and he does. But Gyarados in, taking this chip on Steelix really hurts. I don't like that. But what choice do you have, right? Your Rotom's already 34%. Steelix gets sacked off to the Sacred Sword. And now you go to your Scarf Lati. You go to Mienshao. Does it live this? It barely lives.
Or lives one.
Okay, so cart does go down. Undead managed a way to get around the cart. But now
Necrozma's still
we
looking
lost
like
our Steelix.
unbeatable here.
And now, yeah. I think we just lose to Necrozma, no? Like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, versus Rotom, you can just Protect. You can go Mienshao, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Like, Mienshao can switch forever, but nothing can switch alongside it. Excuse me. Yeah, U-turn does 30%, which is categorically nothing. And yeah, it was Scarf Lati, Scarf Koko. Alright, Mienshao in. It's just going to be a forfeit, in fact. So that's going to be the game. Well played from PZZ. Really good Necrozma set, but the way that he forced chip on the Steelix allowed this to happen, right?
Yeah.
I think maybe you can make a case for Kartana versus Steelix. You should sack Rotom rather than the Steelix. Or like taking the Sacred Sword. And then you revenge with Mienshao and you have the Steelix in the back rather than the Rotom. I think that's probably a little bit better. But at the same time, I don't know if it was enough either way, right?
Yeah.
The Steelix had to be toxic to win that end game. And I don't know if it was. Stealth Rock, Dragon Tail. It could be, it's probably Earthquake for the Koko. And then, like, I don't know. It could even be, like, HP Fire for the cart. That would be not even a bad Steelix set here.
Cool.
Yeah. Although it could be Toxic as well. I don't know. Yeah, and that's going to be all the games for DWL week 2, right? And so...
Yeah, it was week 2.
Yeah. Week 3 going on right now, and we'll catch you next week for those games. Yeah. I don't have anything
Thanks
else to
for
say.
watching.
Like the stream.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, yes.
Watch the ads. Click on them.
Yes. This is what we're missing. Beep boop. Yeah. All right. That's gonna be signing off. See you guys next